This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a great Tuesday afternoon to you. So glad you could be with us on this December the 3rd. It just certainly does not feel like December the 3rd. Temperature still hovering around 80 degrees, but heck, we're not complaining about that whatsoever. Nothing like 80 degrees in December. What? I mean, gosh, we couldn't even get a cold weather football game in Denver last night. But man, you watched that game?
Well, it was a chilly reception for one Jerry Jeudy. I'll say that much.
Whoa, yeah, that was not a good night for Levi Wallace, our Tucson High product right now. He was charged with having to guard Jerry Jeudy for a large part of that game last night between the Broncos and the Browns, and Jerry Jeudy kind of lit Levi up there. Not one of Levi's best nights in the National Football League, but always still fun to watch Levi go out there and compete. I was watching the game last night with some Bronco fans, and they were not aware that we had a local Tucson High product that was on their team, so they thought that was kind of cool until Jerry Jeudy started blitzing him up, and then they're like, "Who is this guy again?"
He's a Badger. He's one of those Badgers.
He's a Tucson Badger. He's one of our guys. That's right. I believe this is now year 7 for Levi in the National Football League.
He spent about 4 years in
Buffalo.
Then he spent 2 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I want to say this would be at least number 6 or maybe 7 for him.
Yeah, because this is his first year in playing for the Denver Broncos. So it's been a solid NFL career for one Levi Wallace. He's played on a number of playoff teams, obviously, in those years with the Buffalo Bills. Unfortunately, unable to get to a Super Bowl with them, as they've just come up a little bit short in this era of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But they've got a good thing going in Denver right now with their young quarterback who, only threw 2 interceptions. Probably should have thrown more last night. He took some chances with the ball, and the Browns just couldn't make him pay quite enough. That was a really good football game. I haven't watched a lot of Monday night games this season, but I can't imagine there was a better Monday night game than that one last night, because those two teams went back and forth against each other. Big plays, pick sixes. Listen, I think this was the weekend of the pick six across football, both in the NFL. We saw a number of pick sixes in college football. When I think of that Notre Dame USC game,
I was going to say your alumni had a pretty bad day when it comes to pick six. It was with 99 yards one way, and then the next drive it was a 101 yard, returning the back the other way too.
My God, I was texting with one of my Notre Dame friends back east, and I was like, yeah, that's got to be historic. I mean, I can't remember too many games where there was close to 2 100-yard punt return touchdown or kick return or interception return touchdowns in the same game. Crazy stuff. But kudos to the DBs out there getting it done this past weekend on both the college and the NFL level. It was good to see. Good to see those guys out there balling this weekend. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Of course, again, we had Monday Night Football for you last night. Don't forget, moving forward, we'll have Monday night and Sunday night football. We will have Thursday night's game for you this week, but Tommy Lloyd's show starts the following Thursday night. Tommy Lloyd's weekly radio show. You'll hear that every Thursday night. Don't forget, that's a switch. He's in the past done it on Mondays, the same nights that Brent Brennan does his show, but obviously with the change in Big 12 scheduling, with there being more Monday and Tuesday games coming up this year, more so than what we had in the past with the Pac-12 schedule, Tommy Lloyd is moving his weekly show to Thursday nights. So that'll be Thursday nights out at the Union Public House beginning next Thursday, December the 12th. So we'll have Sunday night and Monday night football. We may still occasionally have some Thursday night football for you, depending. We will not have that game on the 12th. We'll kind of see how it all plays out. We may join some games in progress after Tommy's show as the season goes along, but just stay with us and we'll let you know on what games those are going to be. So tomorrow is, I don't know. I know that tomorrow Arizona football is announcing their signing class. I don't know that tomorrow is the actual signing day, though. I think it's a little bit further into the month, but they are going to hold an event tomorrow where they're going to announce their class. And I'm beginning to wonder, like, does this even really matter much anymore that we're announcing? Because kids aren't signing letters of intent anymore. They're signing these revenue share agreements, but it's not like that's binding. I mean, a kid could announce tomorrow that he's coming to play for the University of Arizona, and then next week he could be announcing that he's going to play at Arizona State. So I'm interested to see what this event tomorrow is going to be about, because it's not, again, we are in a different era of college football. We've been kind of talking about this for the last few weeks as it relates to how this is all going to go moving forward. And this, I guess, is, you could say, the first official event of 2025, because we've turned the page. There are no more games left to be played for your Arizona Wildcats. So we have now officially turned the page to 2025. The 2025 started Saturday night, after the final ticks of the clock went off of the Territorial Cup game, a 49-7 loss to Arizona State. So now we are officially into next year and what that's going to be all about, and the fact that you're going to be signing this new class. But we all know that it's not just going to be this new class. This is a program that's going to have to go out and really attack the transfer portal, because right now, on paper, this is not it's not a highly ranked class. What did he say last week? I think we said it was 52? 52 nationally?
52 nationally, yeah.
52 nationally, according to On3. But that's not good. That's not a great class. 1 4-star. Everybody else is a 3-star. I think they had 19 kids signed. So in terms of that, but again, in this new era, and this is something that a lot of the coaches on the high school level are starting to talk about, in this new era, a lot of high school kids are getting shut out because of the transfer portal. And kids who maybe 10 years ago would get offers to colleges are now not getting offers to go play at the Division I level, because schools are holding back because they want to sign kids out of the transfer portal. Not to mention that with this new revenue share, rosters are gonna be sliced. Mm-hmm. I mean, right now I think most schools are carrying about 120 kids, including walk-ons. But that number is probably going to go down closer to 100. So you're talking about deleting 15 spots that would go to kids like your walk-ons, like your Caden Lukes, and some of those kids that maybe don't have an actual scholarship offer but can get on a roster and contribute like we saw this year from Caden Luke. Those opportunities are now going to be less for kids coming out of high school. So I'm interested to see how these signing events transpire moving forward now in college football.
It's going to be a change. Again, you hope that there's going to be some added depth, obviously, for the Wildcats, because, again, the depth issue was very, very prevalent this season. I mean, once you started losing the ones and some of the twos, you really saw the lack of depth that they had at certain positions, linebacker, offensive line being a couple of key ones. Now, when you talk about losing potential walk-on opportunities, I mean, that's some guys that really are going to work their tail off to get themselves in a position where they can be a part of the football team and get on the field for some plays. I mean, again, we just talked about Caden Luke. We get guys like that have that want to, that will to themselves to get themselves on the field. And that's really, in essence, what we were talking about yesterday. Those are guys that are staples for the University of Arizona in terms of the history of the program. You want to find those guys Now, what they're going to do to fill out the rest of the roster, you could argue that the season really started, DK, for 2025. It started when they officially announced that Brett Brennan was going to come back. That was when the season really began for next year, because you have to know who's going to be the one in charge of telling these kids, hey, this is what we're doing for next season. And I would argue, before we even go to the recruiting stuff, we need to figure out who's going to be on the staff. These kids need to know what style of play Arizona's going to want to do, because we talked about it, that the identity of this team was still a question mark. They need to find out what that identity is going to be, because if you're going to attract kids in the transfer portal, they're going to want to know what exactly is it that we're looking to do here and how best to utilize my talent for the next part of my football career, whatever that may be.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is your chance to get in on this conversation. One thing we probably will know tomorrow is at least who some of the coaches are, because coaches we're told we're going to be made available at this event to talk about the recruiting process in the class. So I'm imagining whoever's there tomorrow is going to be still on the staff, or at least is on the staff at this point. If we don't see anybody there, we might just conclude that maybe they're not going to be on the staff tomorrow. So it'll be an interesting event for us to get an opportunity to find out a little bit more about this recruiting class that the Wildcats have, just to kind of give you an essence of where it stands right now in terms of the Big 12, this 2025 class. Right now, TCU is number 1 in the Big 12. Colorado is number 2, although Colorado has only 15 kids signed so far. TCU has 29 kids at least signed or committed, or whatever you want to call it, committed at this point. BYU is 3, Houston is 4, K-State 5, Texas Tech 6, ASU 7, Utah 8, West Virginia 9, Arizona 10. So right now, Arizona is 10th in the Big 12, followed by Oklahoma State, Iowa State, who's playing in the championship game, BYU, Kansas, Cincinnati, and Central Florida is sitting at the bottom right now in terms of the current rankings as put out by On3.com, which is one of the newer sites that ranks all of the recruiting classes, whether it relates to the high school kids as well as the transfer portal and all of that. A number of Arizona Wildcats have already begun to jump into the transfer portal. Braden Dorman, the quarterback, who this year was number 3 on the depth chart, has announced that he is going to be moving out of Arizona. Jordan Thomas, a tight end out of, I believe, Texas was where Jordan was from. He's announced that he is going to be departing. So we'll kind of keep an eye on all of that as those kids start to jump in and jump out of the portal. I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you whether those are bad losses for Arizona. Braden Dorman, Jordan Thomas, never really played here. Good kids, I'm sure. Don't really know them that well. They weren't really in too many interview sessions or anything like that. But, I mean, I only judge the kids that I see play on the field, and neither one of those kids really saw the field that much, if at all. I think I don't know if Braden might have taken a couple of snaps for the Arizona Wildcats. I don't know that Jordan Thomas got on the field at all off the top of my head. But, best of luck to them. They didn't feel like they were going to be able to have much of an opportunity moving forward, and so they want to go and find that opportunity elsewhere. And again, we're going to watch I think 1,700 kids went into the portal last year. Mm-hmm. How many of those kids actually found new places to play? How many kids have ever transferred out of Arizona that have gone on to be world beaters in with other teams? I don't know that. I mean, outside of obviously now in this age where you have the number of kids that left to go with Jed Fish to Florida. I'm sorry, to Washington. Yeah, it might be Florida at some point.
Might be looking into the Nostradamus.
Right, exactly. I'm like looking into the future here. So people listening to the show were like, what? Florida? What's he talking about? To Washington. But again, those were starters. Those were frontline guys. I'm talking about the kids that were marginal, kids like what we just talked about that hadn't played here. How many of those kids have gone on and been able to carve out successful career somewhere else. The list is very small.
And even then, we're talking about kids that made an impact after their transfer. A lot of kids found new homes. Doesn't necessarily mean they found new places to show their talent.
Right.
That's going to be the biggest thing, is that while a team may say that, look, if you transfer, you're going to get playing time, but then somebody else transfers from the same position and they have a little bit more of a get up than you do, suddenly you're all of a sudden back to where you were from square one at the very beginning. So now you got to make a decision what to do after that. Some kids, they chose to stick it out. Others, they decided to go back in.
I just want to look at one kid that I know from last year's team that transferred, that we know saw some playing time this year at his new school, and that was Stevie Rocker, the running back out of Canyon de Laurel High School, who transferred down to FCS to go to Montana. And he played pretty much in all of the games there. Looks like he got carries in all but looks like he got carries in maybe about half of their games. 25 carries, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns this season for Stevie Rocker. And so just again, that's just an example of a young man who was on this roster, wasn't getting a lot of playing time, decided to go somewhere else. What did he do at the next school? And so, was he able to come in and start right away? Obviously, Stevie didn't go in and start there. He was still playing in a backup role, but he saw the field. And so, again, that's what a lot of these kids want to be able to go other places and play college football. And so you can't fault them or deny them for wanting those opportunities. And we wish them well wherever that they end up, and hopefully can have find what they're looking for at that next location. 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on the program. We'll talk some football a little bit later. Wildcat Breakdown, the final Wildcat Breakdown in terms of a game of this season. Glenn Howell will join us at 5:20. We'll dissect what there is to dissect of that 49-7 beatdown of the Arizona Wildcats. We'll talk about maybe some of the mainline guys, the top line guys, the two deep guys that we'd like to see back, and who could potentially be that guy on the two deep that kind of breaks out next season or has an opportunity to break out for the Arizona Wildcats. Right now, breaking out with your traffic, as she does every 20 minutes on the fives, is Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported: Ajo and Keno, Ajo connection, Wilmot at I-10. We've got collisions on Craycroft, Broadway and Craycroft, also a wreck Craycroft and 29th Street. Some slowing on westbound Ajo approaching Mission Road. 48 the overnight low, 74 sunny tomorrow, and 81 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Good news, everybody. We stay on the air with you for an extra 2 hours after every Arizona football and men's basketball game all season long. That's why we are the home of the Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
All the Who's down in Huson like great deals a lot, but the Grinch who lived on top of Mount Denman did not. But he went to O'Reilly for the holidays to trade in his sleigh, and the price he got from his trade grew 5 times that day. This holiday season, come to the dealership even a Grinch can love. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check us out at O'Reilly.com. Because at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we prefer that you visit us live. See us this holiday season, and together, let's drive.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
With cooler weather on the way, many of us are turning on our furnaces for the first time this season. We hope everything runs smoothly, but if you notice strange noises, frequent cycling, or no heat at all, give Rightway a call. Right now we're offering a complete system tune-up for just $65, plus a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Don't wait till it's too late. Call Rightway, 520-549-1914 to schedule your $65 complete system tune-up.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Over the years, LearnerRow has helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that LearnerRow is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
LearnerRow is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TIP to 321-321. That's TIP to 321-321.
Stay informed on all the latest news from McHale Center and Arizona men's basketball by following us on Twitter at Wildcats1290. When news breaks from Tommy Lloyd's team, we will bring it to you on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. I've been saying for a while now that in our lava-flinging, hot take culture, hate is the new dopamine. However, I think there's an even newer dopamine out there now. Hate is the new dopamine, but Jameis Winston is the new dopamine. Seriously, what's better than watching this guy play quarterback? Watching this dude navigate a football game is somewhere on the adrenaline scale between riding a roller coaster and blasting off into orbit on a rocket ship. Look, I'm not saying he's the best player ever, obviously. What I am saying is, what I'm really asking is, are you not entertained? You can't even look away from the screen when this dude's out there. Any play could be a touchdown, and that touchdown could be scored in either end zone. Anyone on that field is equally likely to wind up catching any of his passes, no matter what laundry they have on. It really is that scintillating. Famous Jameis, legend.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $32.99. In-store only. Limits apply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Shop Black Friday deals now at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And get 2 free select tools with purchase of a select combo kit or battery kit from brands like Cobalt, Craftsman, and DeWalt. Hurry and shop these savings only for a limited time because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/28 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We're streaming this show on a number of different platforms, both audio and video. Audio at wildcatsradio1290.com, as well as our app, both audio and video. Video on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Wildcats Radio 1290 on all of those different platforms. So check us out wherever you can on any of those devices. Some sad news today in college football. Illinois assistant coach Dana Dimmel died overnight in his sleep. Dana was a offensive assistant coach for Mike Stoops here at the University of Arizona for a number of years before finally getting a head coaching job at UTEP. Helped take UTEP to a bowl game, I think it was back in 2021. Coach Jacob Cowing over there, and a lot of thoughts and prayers coming in to Dana Dimmel passing this morning at the age of 62. And we have certainly send our condolences out to Dana's family. He was one of the coaches on the staff when I first got to town back in 2008, and he'll be sorely missed by all. We were talking in the last segment about transfers out and, some of the guys and what do the numbers look like, at least for some of those guys recently. And so I decided just to go ahead and pull up the Washington stat sheet because we had a number of guys that went to Washington, followed the O Crew up there. Probably the most notable of those on the offensive side of the ball was Jonah Coleman. Jonah had a pretty good year, 184 carries. Ran for over 1,000 yards, averaged 5.5 yards per carry, and scored 10 touchdowns. So another solid year. Ran for 1,000 yards here last year. Did Jonah Coleman and ran for 1,000 yards again this year. So again, a move that made sense for him to follow Scotty Graham and company up to Washington, and it paid off for one Jonah Coleman coming off the season that he had here at the University of Arizona. I mean, he ran for just 871 yards last year, but touched over 1,000 yards. So again, different than the average player we're talking about. Jonah was a starter here. Knew he was going to be a starter there as well. So I think you look at the different classes of transfers when we're talking about some of these guys. Deuce Davis was another that transferred to the University of Washington. Unfortunately got hurt early in the season, so only played in 3 games this year up there. Had a really good game in the Huskies' win over UCLA early in the year and was named, I think he had 3 sacks. He had 3 sacks in that game and was named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, but unfortunately was hurt in the UCLA game, the USC game, and missed the rest of the season there. Ephesians Prysock played in all 12 games for the Washington Huskies. Ephesians had 6 pass breakups this season. That was tied for second on the team, and did not record an interception all year long. So, again, hard to quantify how good a season it was for him. 39 tackles, which is not a lot, but cornerbacks are not usually making a lot of tackles, so you don't necessarily expect those numbers to be real high. But again, on a Washington team that was probably not as good as some people thought that they should be. They finished 6-6 on the season a year after going to the national championship game. So 6-6 in year one, and got beat up pretty good by the Oregon Ducks in their rivalry game this past week. So just a few of the numbers of to look at, and we'll go back and what we talked about yesterday, Dragon Ball, about where this Arizona program goes, the kind of players you need to be looking for. Again, one of the things we said yesterday was let's look at the model. Let's look at that model, that Jacob Cowing model, where you went out and got one of the best receivers in Group of 5. Let's look at that Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt model, where you went out and got one of the best running backs in Group of 5. Now, those are interesting circumstances because, again, I think there were special circumstances in both of those instances there. With Jacob Cowing, you had a kid from this area, essentially, between Phoenix and Tucson, who was looking to come back home because he had a child situation. So that played a little bit to him looking at Arizona, maybe even Arizona State, and then finally deciding on Arizona to be that place where he wanted to come to be closer to his child. A similar situation with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I mean, his old coach was here on this staff. So, again, it was a connection that made sense. So what you've got to hope, again, is that these coaches also, the ones that are going to be remaining, maybe have those types of connections. Kids they recruited at San Jose State. Maybe they did try to recruit some kids. I mean, we know they tried to recruit Speedy Luke to San Jose State, and he chose to come here. I'm sure there's other kids like that, kids that they tried to recruit who chose to go to a bigger school, and maybe it's not working out for them. They need to be on all those kids to see if they can get those kids to come back here. But I think the model is what we talked about yesterday. Who are some of the top players in Group of 5 that are going to jump into that portal, maybe looking for that next opportunity? And can you sell a solid quarterback in Noah Fafita who took a step back? And we can debate that. I've said it all along. It was part scheme, part him. I know there's a lot of people out there that believe that it was all scheme, that they didn't do much for him. But at the end of the day, quarterbacks got to make plays too. And I saw a lot of plays, and we break down a lot of tape here because that's what we do. I saw a lot of plays he didn't make this season. So, but again, he's going to have 2 years as a starter now. You got to believe that next year is going to be better. We've talked about the dynamic of Noah and T-Mac. No T-Mac next year, for better or for worse, might make Noah a better quarterback because he can't just depend on the guy that he's been throwing the ball to since he was in 8th grade. That might even be a bonus for him to improve next year, that he's not going to be on the same team. We talked about how great that was, that they were on the same team. Well, now it might be great that they're not on the same team moving forward.
I hate to go ahead and make this comparison because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to discredit Noah Fafita and the work that he did over the past 2 years at the U of A and just as a football player. But you take away a guy like Tetero McMillan, who he's been throwing to for the longest time, and now you tell him, okay, it's time for you to go ahead and throw to some people that you don't have that level of camaraderie and safety with. And maybe that's a little bit like taking the training wheels off of a guy that's trying to learn how to ride a bike by themselves for the first time. You get a lot of these young wide receivers. And let's not forget, he was very, very in on throwing to Jacob Cowing when Jacob Cowing was here. It's not as if Noah isn't willing to throw to different people. He just needs to find the right scheme. If it's a situation where I trust T-Mac to get the ball, guess what? Everybody's going to trust T-Mac to get the ball. If you put it in a spot where he can catch it, he's going to get it. Now you get him in a position where, okay, I don't have that security blanket in regards to an outside threat. Now I need to spread the ball out a little bit more. He has that opportunity. In regards to all those guys that you're talking about, looking into the Power 5 or the other 5 schools and other things like that, there are guys out there that are interesting prospects. I think that Eric Rivers, a kid out of FIU, would be a very good pickup for him. 6'1", redshirt junior, good wide receiver, good speed, and guy Colin Weber from Charlotte, also a very, very good target, 6'4" tight end. And that was something that I know that you and Glenn, we're going to talk to Glenn later on today. I know Glenn would love to get another 6'4" tight end for Noah to go ahead and look at in the passing game. And then also just on the defensive side, we're going to need to have a conversation about what's going to happen on the back end of the defense. The safety position is going to be different next year. You may not have guys like Gunnar Maldonado back there for much longer. If Gunnar decides to come back, if he can come back, and if he does come back, what's the injury situation with him moving forward? But there's also guys like from North Dakota State. I watch this guy a lot because, again, NAU, that's FCS school. Cole Wisniewski from North Dakota State is a stud at the safety position. But these are guys that Brett Brennan and the rest of his staff, whoever it might happen to be, they're going to have to look into these guys and say, I know that you got some potential offers, But these are places where you're going to get to play and show off your talent in a Big 12 school with a lot of media attention. I mean, for as much as people are going to complain about U of A's performance this season, it wasn't like they were struggling to put U of A on TV. U of A was getting some TV time, even with the struggles that they had during the season. So get an opportunity to get these kids out there. Let them show what they can do. But these are spots where they're going to have to really work on those recruiting circles in the other 5 schools.
How did they not convince that Nick Nash kid to come with them?
That I don't know.
I couldn't answer that. Can you imagine having him next to Tetsuo McMillan? Holy mackerel! That might have cured our offense right there, having those two guys. For our guy Noah Fafita to throw the ball to. Jeez, and when you look at this list, just pulling up the stat list, Dragon Ball. I mean, if you look at the top 5, 3 of the top 5 are a group of 5 guys. I mean, Nick Nash obviously is graduating. Harold Fannin Jr. is a tight end out of Bowling Green, had over 100 catches, 1,300 yards. T-Mac was 3rd, and then Eric Rivers, the kid you mentioned, out of Florida International, was 4th. So 3 of the top 5 receivers in the country in Division I came from smaller schools. So there's guys out there. I don't know if they have relationships, like I said, with any of these guys, but they need to explore those. They definitely need to explore those and see if they can find that match to get guys like that into this program. Out of the transfer portal and moving forward. And then again, like I said, these guys have to go into the transfer portal. There's nothing to say that they will, but if guys like that get into the portal, Arizona needs to be on them with a package to say, hey, we can put you with a quarterback who's had some success at the Division I level. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Much more straight ahead. Arizona women's basketball bounces back with a win over Seattle last night. We'll let you hear some of the highlights and reaction from that. Paulina Paris. We talked about Paulina on the show yesterday. Could she be maybe one of those? We had the conversation with Kim Doss, and Kim said that scoring's been a little inconsistent, and we talked about some of the young ladies who might be able to step up and be that consistent scorer. And obviously, Lauren Swan's been dealing with a little bit of an injury, and last night it indeed was Paulina Paris. Can she continue that when the competition gets more difficult and tougher? But we'll hear from Paulina on her career-high 23-point performance last night for the Arizona Wildcats. DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Speedway west of Tucson Boulevard, that was an earlier collision vehicle flipped on its side. Some slowing eastbound on Speedway as you approach Tucson Boulevard. Also, potential slowdowns for road work on Tucson Boulevard, 6th Street to Grant. Other collisions, Ajo and Keno, and also Craycroft and 29th Street. 48 the overnight low, 74 sunny tomorrow, and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop Black Friday deals now at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy other select major appliances. Valid through 12/4, cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last, selection varies.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
NFL Thursday Night Football plays here.
Love gets the shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, throws left, caught by Jaden Reed, gets a block, runs across the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown Packers. Second of the night for Jaden Reed.
This Thursday, the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions.
We're in playoff football right now. That's where we're at. We're in December, and our schedule says that. And this is the type of stuff that you live for.
We are Tucson's home for the National Football League. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Marco! Polo! Marco! Polo!
In a giant pool of business competitors, don't be the one left unseen and out of reach. If you're a business owner and need help with your online presence, let's make it happen. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business.
Marco?
Yes, I'm Marco. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson bring their unique take on sports entertainment with no contest wrestling, with guests like WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry.
What is that night like for you as world champion?
I remember getting in my hotel. I'm looking at the chair with the title on it, and I remember crying. I couldn't believe that it was in my room and that I was sitting here looking at this title like it was a person.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network, wherever you listen.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Arizona women's basketball did not have a good week in Palm Springs last week, losing to Vanderbilt and their former sisters from the Pac-12, the California Golden Bears, having to play the second of those games without Brea Cunningham, who had to leave the team due to a family emergency. Back home taking on Seattle, and it was a good night for one Paulina Paris, transfer from North Carolina.
Seattle comes in 2-5 on the season and turns the ball over. Paris with one to beat, and it's and one opportunity for Paulina Paris. That shot too strong from Kozlova, and here comes Paris again, the step through. What a finish! Candy Edopaibe is getting set to check in. Paris, another steal and scores. Shot clock getting low. Paris rises and hits. She's got 14. Paris spinning and hitting. I'll have whatever she is having. She's got 20. Paulina Paris has 8 dimes. And she has tied her career high with 22 points.
Sydney Brunson and the coach, Joan Bonvincini, last night on ESPN+. plus. Are you old enough to know where that term "I'll have whatever she's having" came from?
Well, yeah,
Dragon
I think
Ball?
that's from the movie Something About Jane, Something About Mary.
No.
No?
Close. No, not so. No. But it is from a movie.
Okay.
Billy Crystal. What was her name? Oh God, I can't remember the name of the actress. When Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally.
When
that was
Harry
it, yeah.
Met Sally. What was that actress's name that was in that movie? I cannot remember her name. Blonde, short hair.
Meg Ryan?
Meg Ryan, thank you. Meg Ryan, who they were sitting at a coffee table, and she imitated a fake orgasm.
Yeah,
And the
well,
lady
I
at
know
the next-
the context of the scene. I know the context. I just didn't remember the movie it was.
And the lady at the next table says, "I'll have whatever she's having."
I didn't realize Carrie Fisher was in that movie.
Yeah. I don't remember who all was in that movie, but it was a good movie. Funny movie. Billy Crystal made some great movies in the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, Throw
Funny
Mama
stuff.
from the Train is still one of my favorites.
Oh, I loved Running Scared.
Oh,
Him
yeah.
and Gregory Hines playing Chicago cops trying to get to retirement without getting shot up by the bad guys. Good stuff there. So Paulina Paris, big ball game last night for your Arizona Wildcats as they beat Seattle 78-43 to go to 7-3 on the season. 10 of 13 from the floor. 1 of 4 from 3. Paulina had 22 points, but how about this? She had 8 assists in the ball game. Probably one of the best assist nights that the Wildcats have had. They had 19 assists in the ball game. Paulina had 8. Jada had 5. Montea Dew had 4. This was the first ball game that Montea Dew really showed up big in the stat sheets. 4 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists to go along with 5 steals for Montea Dew. Good night. Brea was back, 6 of 8 in 17 minutes. She had 13 points and 9 rebounds. So good to see Brea back in the lineup, and the Wildcats win it by 35 points. Afterward,
The biggest thing about that, Paris had 34 minutes on the court in that game. I mean, she was out there for a while, which last season, that was almost a necessity for Diabarza's squad with the amount of injuries and the lack of depth that they could really go to the bench. But seeing that Paulina is able to go ahead and get that many minutes out of herself and put up an efficient night like that, that's a good sign for Adia moving forward.
Well, interesting. She played 34 minutes, and maybe we'll hear from Coach Barnes a little bit later. She played 34 minutes. Jade only played 18 minutes. I'm curious to see why. I wasn't at the game last night, so I'm curious to maybe hear why such a discrepancy between them. And Montea Dew played 38 minutes in that game, so she played all but 2 minutes of the game. But again, Montea needs to be out there. She hasn't played in a year and a half, so I can kind of see that
game shape,
aspect of it. Yeah, you need to get her out there and just get her minutes, get her playing, get her feeling comfortable about her game. So she can be a positive influence on this team when you get to the Big 12 action. Sanaya Ja did not shoot the ball well last night, 2 of 10 in 21 minutes. And she turned the ball over 4 times to no assists. And then you had Jordan Ross, Katarina Nesvik, and Maylene Rolfe played the majority of the rest of the minutes off the bench. So she Adia got in 9 solid players into that rotation last night in the game against Seattle. Let's hear from the players after the ball game. It was Brea Cunningham and the star who got to bang the drum, Paulina Paris.
Questions for Paulina Paris and Montea, first career start, how do you feel out there? Obviously, you played most minutes you've played so far. Just how do you feel out there?
You know, it felt kind of good, or it felt amazing, you know, just being out there, especially just having to step up when one of our players was out. So, you know, it felt good to be there for the team.
Paulina, you set your season high in points tonight. Just what was clicking out there for you?
I mean, we just came off of a big weekend of losses, so I would just say my teammates, they were looking for me. And I mean, I haven't been playing the best leading up to this game, so just preparing. I've been in the gym a lot, so I pointed to my teammates.
How much of a difference did the mask make for you, and how is it now that it's gone?
Yeah, I mean, the mask is definitely not something easy to play with. It was difficult. You really don't have any peripheral vision. And obviously it showed in my free throws. I dropped significantly percentage-wise, but taking that mask off was great. It's like a relief. I could breathe. But still trying to keep my head out of certain areas because it's still broken. So just trying to be smart.
And Taya, Adia's talked about how you just need time to kind of get back into the groove of things. How are you feeling about that, about feeling like yourself again?
Yeah, I feel like each game I just progressively get back into playing how I used to, just getting more comfortable out on the court, especially being more comfortable with my teammates and just being able to play in my role like how I did in the past. So I feel like I've been getting better every game in practice, just continuing to grow.
In each game you do different things, right? Whether it shows up in the stat sheet or not. Tonight you played 38 minutes, almost the entire game, pulled down 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. I mean, great stat line. And I know you were stepping up because, Isis wasn't there, but did something else sort of does it start at some point to click or feel right or something?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people think about like scoring, and before this game I just thought like go out there and do all the little things, like get those rebounds and just go out and don't really even think about scoring because that's not really my role. So I feel like just thinking about that like put me in a position to go out there and play how I played tonight.
Paulina, you also had a career high at 8 assists, and what were your teammates doing to get in the right spots? Are you guys gelling together better than you were maybe 5 games ago?
I would say, yeah. I mean, we're 10 games in now. We've been practicing with each other for about 7 months now, so we're learning each other, but also credit to my teammates because they were finishing every time I was passing them the ball. But yeah, credit to them.
You guys set your season high in steals with 15 tonight. Just what stood out about the defense from a team perspective?
I mean, practice. If you were to sit at our practice, it's literally 3 hours of defense. So again, coming off of this weekend, didn't play our best defense. So these past 2 days have been working on ourselves and really just taking over that side of the floor. And Adia mentioned that we held them to 11 points in the second half, 4 points in the fourth quarter. So credit to my teammates because we really defended well in that second half. So just carrying that on for the rest of the season.
So Paulina, even when you went out, excuse me, with about 5 minutes left or something in the game, Taya and everyone else who's still on the court, which aren't, she was a starter, but everybody else isn't a starter. Yeah. And they were able to continue the defense, right? They got a 10-second violation. They were getting stuff. They were not letting them score. What did you see from all of them during that point?
Even the players that do come off the bench, I mean, they're still in practice, practicing with us 3 hours a day, getting better every day at defense. So, I mean, I didn't get to see what happened in those 2 minutes, but, I mean, I trust all 14 of our girls to go out there and defend like the starting 5 does. So, I mean, yeah, I think we did a really great job this game at defending.
And how much that knows?
It feels better. Yeah, it's doing good.
You guys had cut down on those turnovers against Cal, but they went back up again this game. What do you guys have to do? We've asked Adia about what you do in practice, but what do you think you need to do to kind of bring those back down?
I would just say being smarter with the ball. I could say for myself, I forced a couple in the second half, trying to lob it to a post. But as a team, just being more disciplined on the offensive side and just swinging the ball and just being better with the ball. But as games go by, I think we'll get better at that.
All right, that is Paulina Paris and Mantea Dew after last night's game. Arizona knocking off Seattle at McHale Center. We're talking about just kind of the disparity in minutes. Apparently, Dia Barnes after the ball game said that she wanted to give Jada Williams and Skylar Jones a little extra rest during the second half of that game, and so that is one of the reasons why Skylar only played 21 minutes, and Jade only played 18 as compared to Paulina, who played 34 minutes in the ball game. So Adia just giving her starters a little extra blow with that game kind of being in hand last night. They'll play again on Thursday night at McHale Center against Grand Canyon. So looking forward to that matchup between those two schools. It was one that Adia has been trying to get on the schedule for a long time, and they've finally begun to get those games against Grand Canyon. And so the Lopes will come down here, and the Wildcats will face that game before as they kind of continue on their schedule to Big 12 conference play. They've got a number of games still remaining on the non-conference schedule. Cal State Bakersfield next week at home. Weber State the following Monday at home, and then they'll open up things. They actually open up way before the men do. They'll open up on the 21st of December at BYU at Utah, at BYU, and then home as we see that split scheduling that we noticed during the volleyball portion of the season, where you play one game on the road, one game at home in the same week. But again, it'll be very similar, the women's schedule to the men's schedule. We talked earlier in the show, Saturday, they're going to be a lot of Monday, Tuesday games. For the women, it's going to be a lot of Saturday. It's going to kind of be all over the place, but it's going to be a lot of Saturday, Wednesday kind of situations with them more so than the Saturday, Thursdays, but in kind of reversed order. It's not going to be like Wednesday's the first game, Saturday's the second game. It's going to be Saturday being the first game, and then Wednesday being the second game. So that'll be interesting to see how that works on some of the travel. Just kind of looking at the first road trip of extent for Arizona, that will be to Kansas and Kansas State, and they'll play Saturday. They'll play a Saturday and then the following Thursday. So I don't know if they'll come home between that. They'll play Saturday the 11th and Thursday the 16th. So I don't know if they'll come home between those two games or not. It looks like no, because they actually play Kansas State. So they could stay out on the road that entire time, or they could come home and then go back out for the game Thursday, Sunday, the 16th and the 19th of January at Kansas State in Kansas. So it's going to be very interesting how this new Big 12 works in terms of the travel, especially on the men's and women's basketball sides as we venture into it for this first season. DK on the sports tip. Much more coming up for you in the second hour of the show. We'll hear from cricket. Also, Glenn Howe will join us at 5:20. We'll break down Arizona football for one final time on this season. And we'll take your calls and texts as well. Right now, David Amata is here. J-Dub has the day off. And David is giving you everything you need to know in sports here in Southern Arizona, as well as across the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, it was a good day for the Arizona Wildcats women's team, as you just heard us talk about. They managed to come away with a win over Seattle U Redhawks. Paulina Perez having herself the best game of the season so far for herself, scoring 22 points and 8 assists in 34 minutes on the court. Adia Barnes says that she hopes to see Paulina play like this a lot more as the year continues.
Tonight, not only more aggressive, more confident, more really looked for opportunities. A lot better defensively. I think you see her defense improving. I think before in areas where she wouldn't take risks, she kind of did a little. I'm not saying risk to get out of position. I'm saying aggressive in her body positioning. A couple games ago, she would have just gotten blown by, and it's a 5-on-4. So much better job. I thought she was confident in that. I thought she did a great job of changing direction and speed into the basket. And she's a really good finisher. If you watch her, she's super strong upper body, and she finishes well, and she creates space well. I thought she played awesome today. I mean, 10 for 13 for a guard, 22 points, 8 assists, 3 steals. That's a phenomenal game for her. I thought she played the best game yet, and I think she can play like that a lot.
Yeah, the Wildcats women get back on the hardwood later this week on Thursday, as you heard, as they take on Grand Canyon University to stay unbeaten this season at McHale. And the Phoenix Suns finish up group play of the NBA Emirates Cup today with a battle against the Spurs, against their old point guard in Chris Paul, and of course Victor Wembanyama. But the Suns can still win the group, but they need a win over the Spurs and a loss from the Thunder as they take on the Jazz to get into the knockout stage. Phoenix will be shorthanded, though, at tip-off at 7 p.m. Yusuf Nurkic out due to a thigh contusion. And following the brutal hit on Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence this past weekend, Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair was officially suspended for 3 games for repeated violations of player safety rules, although the veteran defender will be appealing the decision, while Texans GM Nick Caserio defended Al-Shaair and said he doesn't believe the league is using consistency when issuing their punishments. And I'm David A., a.k.a. Dragon Ball, and that has been your 2020 Sports Update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Speedway west of Tucson Boulevard. That was a vehicle flipped on its side on Speedway west of Tucson Boulevard. Other collisions, Craycroft and 29th Street, and also Ajo and Keno and Ajo, and some backups on westbound Ajo approaching Mission. 48 the overnight low, 74 sunny tomorrow, and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop Black Friday deals now at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy other select major appliances. Valid through 12/4, cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last, selection varies.
My helmet saved me after they crashed into my motorcycle, but I still couldn't ride for weeks. The insurance company tried hammering me into a quick settlement. No way. I gave them the bird, the eagle, Goldberg and Osborne. Nobody knows Arizona like the eagle. Phoenix to Tucson, Flagstaff to Havasu, and every bit of blacktop in between. Wherever you go, the eagle is there. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Give the insurance company the bird.
Give them the bird. Call the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
1290 has earned the right to be named after the Arizona Wildcats. That's why we grind harder than anyone else in Tucson to cover the Cats. 1290 is the home of the Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Heat and air, we're in a state of disrepair.
It's December in Tucson, and yes, it's cold outside, but we're here to help with our $79 furnace diagnostic service special and our $79 water heater flush that includes a free plumbing inspection. Call us at 520-492-0748 or fixrockschooling.com. And on behalf of our entire team, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Get ready, Wildcats fans. This Saturday, it's a showdown. Arizona men's basketball takes on Southern Utah at McHale Center. Tip-off is at noon with the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona game day starting at 8:30 a.m. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695.
That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Week 12 of the NFL season has come to an end, and it was not a great week for your Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals football. The most complete coverage of your Bird Gang is right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cardinals went up to Minnesota, had an early lead in the game. In fact, we're up 19-6. Looked like they were in control of this game against the Minnesota Vikings, who came into the contest at 9-2, but things got away from the Birds in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 2 from the Cardinals 5. Takes the snap, 4-man rush. Sam to the right, caught, and touchdown! Showtime! And Aaron Jones saved his best for last. We're tied at 22.
Aaron Jones doesn't do a whole lot. Runs the ball a little bit, catches it maybe even less than that, but came through there on a big moment to give the Vikings the lead. Sam Darnold continuing to play winning football, though he did get sacked 5 times in that game by the Cardinals defense. But the Cardinals defense can only do so much when the offense is kicking field goal after field goal after field goal after field goal. That was one of those games where it seemed like it was just going to be like, what was that game a few weeks ago where the Steelers kicked 6 field goals? And then all of a sudden, they both teams decided they wanted to start scoring touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. At the very end of it.
At the very end of the game.
The other thing about it, you were mentioning Aaron Jones catching that touchdown to pretty much get the lead for the Vikings in that moment. But let's not forget, Aaron Jones fumbled twice on this day. The Cardinals only were able to pick it up once. Roy Lopez was the guy who recovered that fumble. But at the same time, you got gifted a couple of turnovers in that opportunity, but you only were able to take away one. That's a huge missed opportunity for the Cardinals, especially on defense with, again, Jonathan Gannon. That was his bread and butter when he was with Philadelphia. That was what he was hired to do, is get this defense an opportunity. And it's one thing to force them. It's another thing to get them if you want to force those fumbles.
Be a plus turnover team for sure. Cardinals had a chance to go down and win it with a late field goal. It did not happen.
3 receivers, 3 left, 1 right. 4th and 10 for Kyler Murray facing a 5-man rush. Kyler back to pass, throws right, intercepted. Jack Griffin has won the game, and it's a high five for the Minnesota Vikings. They've won 5 consecutive games. The final score, 23-22 Minnesota.
Shaquille Griffin out of the Big 12, University of Central Florida, with that big interception, although I don't know if they weren't Big 12 when he played there, but they are now. So we'll give him that anyway. 23-22, the final in that game. A lot of penalties for the Bird Gang in this one. Way too many probably penalties, way too many field goals, not enough touchdowns, all of that, Jonathan Gannon says, leads to a disappointing 1-point loss on the road.
We went backwards on the one last drive. Obviously, that was brutal. We just got to figure out ways to punch the ball in for touchdowns there, not field goals.
On the second to last possession, you had an opportunity maybe to go for it on 4th down at the goal line. What did you do?
Yeah. I mean, there's thought about it. Just wanted to go up more than a field goal there, But definitely a decision point that we talked about. So be it.
Why do you think it was important to go up with the field goal?
I wanted to make them score a touchdown to beat us there.
The penalties, obviously, you've been so good about it all week. Do you feel like, I know sometimes the different crews, so that can change some things. Do you feel like...
Well, we fouled too much today because that's a low flag crew. So to have whatever we had, I think almost 100 yards in penalties, we're shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. The one DBI, bang, bang, whatever, it's the pre-snap penalties on offense. We're going backwards. Those are negative plays because of our own accord. So we got to get that cleaned up.
So that was they were talking about the second to last possession for the Cardinals, where they got down to the 4-yard line, couldn't punch it in, and decided to kick a field goal there. And to, like Jonathan Gannon said, to at least put themselves in a position where the Vikings had to go down and score a touchdown. Did you like that decision?
I like the fact that we finally got a coach who decided to just take the points. At that point, you got to just take the point. Again, You're forcing the Vikings to score a touchdown on you. And let's not forget, that was a 70-yard, 8-play drive. It wasn't like it was a slow, methodical drive. There were some chunk plays that happened on that last drive that the Cardinals defense gave. You had the 26-yard pass to the middle of the field to Addison. You had a couple other ones there that just a 12-yard pass to Justin Jefferson. Then you had the 2-minute warning. And then you had the penalty, which is what Jonathan Gannon just talked about. The pass interference that gave them the fresh set of downs inside of the red zone there just killed them. You can't give that up at that point. You have to keep everything in front of you, but you can't be grabbing at somebody either. If you put yourself in that position, you have a good chance to win. When you give up chunk plays right off the bat, suddenly you're playing, backpedaling. You don't want to backpedal when you're a defense and you're only up by 6. You gotta go and charge at somebody if you're going to win that game.
Kyler Murray after the game said, it was just bad football by the Birds.
Disappointed. Game we all felt like kind of let go, didn't execute. Just didn't make enough plays, and they came back to bite us. So, that's a good team over there. We had a chance to put them away. We didn't.
What do you say about the struggles, getting touchdowns, those field goals?
Penalties. Haven't really played like that all year. I want to say uncharacteristic, but that beats you. It's bad football. In the red zone and against a good team, a good defense, it kills you.
The interception, you pin that more on the decision.
Which one?
The one overthrown of Mike, who was kind of guys in your face. Do you pin that more on the decision or the execution of the throw?
No, I was trying to throw the ball away, so it's on me.
When you had a chance to potentially win the game on 4th down, or were you frustrated and not get the chance to be able to go for that on 4th?
No, I trust JG. I see both sides. Go up 6, make them score. Trust the defense, go get a stop. Go for it. You don't get it, still got to, they still got to go down and score. If we do get it, probably put the game away. Obviously, if we do run a play, I'm confident in us to get it, but I got full faith in what JG wanted to do there. Again, I think we shot ourselves in the foot. I don't think we really ran any plays. I think I don't know how many penalties we had down there, but I think we were backed up, put ourselves back behind the chains. How many times we get down there? 4. Yeah, I just, I feel like every time we got down there, besides the touchdown to Marv, we kind of, and then obviously right before the 2-minute, we had penalties. Last one was tough, but we got to lock in and be better.
You watch tape from the quarter, especially. What are you going to be looking for?
I thought the plan was great. I think we almost had 400 total yards of offense. I thought we moved the ball well. Again, it just comes down to, I feel like, not scoring touchdowns. Getting down there, kicking field goals again, and the penalties biting us. It's bad. It's bad football.
1 for 6 in the red zone, 10 penalties for 96 yards. That will short circuit any NFL team's chance to win a football game. So the Cardinals will come home. They'll take on the Seahawks in a critical game, critical division game, just critical game, period. Now, after you've lost 2 in a row following the 4-game win streak to fall back to 6-6, and you're a game behind Seattle, you don't win this game, and you're probably maybe not even going to the postseason. So big ball game Sunday up in Glendale. Pleased to be joined by today the third member of our program. Her name is Cricket.
Hey, friends.
Where are we in terms of the Christmas shopping? Did you get any of that besides being below deck in the basement watching television during your vacation last week? Did you get any Christmas shopping done?
A little bit, not as much as I wanted to.
No.
Cyber
Monday yesterday. Did you buy anything online? Do you partake in all these different breakdowns of the shopping days?
Not always. I got a couple of early Black Friday deals.
Okay.
Which was before Black Friday.
Yeah, I didn't. Apparently my wife got a before Black Friday deal. I was like, so what's the point if you are buying it ahead of time? I thought the whole fun was to get it on Black Friday, but now you can get the deal before Black Friday.
There's no fun being in that stampede.
No,
there's no fun.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone? I did that once, maybe I think 14 years ago. I went and stood at overnight and was in line to get something when it first opened.
I don't think I've ever done, not
done
Black Friday, but with the Cabbage Patch craze.
Oh,
we did that once. We waited in line for a couple of Cabbage Patch Kids.
But it wasn't overnight.
But no, I think that we just got there early.
Got there early?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Dragon Ball?
No,
have you ever done that?
I have never felt that there was any purchase that was necessary for me to go ahead and stay overnight to then be ready to go into the store first things. I've done a couple midnight releases, to be fair, again, I'm a bit of a video game nut, so there were occasions way back when there used to be a big thing about physical releases of video games. I would show up at a GameStop at 11:30 and then pick up my pre-order and then leave. That would be about as much as I would do, but I would not stay overnight in front of a GameStop waiting for something to release. I would be if I can't make it to the midnight, I'll just pick it up first thing in the morning.
I'll wait till later.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
All right, what does Cricket want from Santa for Christmas?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. What do you boys want for Christmas?
What do you mean nothing? You got to want something for Christmas. Everybody wants something for Christmas, right?
Well, have you seen the big fluffy TikTok blanket? I think it's called the bunny blanket.
Okay.
But it's it's
I have
huge.
seen this.
It's huge
I've seen this.
and it's fluffy. I would want one of those, but
It reminds
it's a
me
TikTok,
of the,
TikTok, the social app.
It reminds me so much of the Snuggie for some reason. It's got that
but
same
it's not
amount.
an outfit, though.
It's not an outfit.
Like
That's the thing.
Snuggie was.
It's just a big fluffy blanket.
And it looks amazing. And
All
I think
right.
the girl in one of the ads, she says, I have a warning. If you don't want to lay in bed or on the couch all day, don't
buy
this blanket.
Don't buy this blanket.
And it looks so luxurious and fluffy and I don't know.
I think I might like that. That sounds good. I'll have to look for the TikTok blanket it's called.
I think it's the TikTok bunny blanket.
TikTok
Google that.
bunny blanket.
See what happens.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll have to do that for sure.
It's
All right.
faux bunny fur. I don't want to upset
Okay.
anyone.
I
It's not
want
real
more of these.
rabbits.
If you're looking for a gift from me, I want more of these types of light pullovers because it gets cold in here. I always
chilly?
have to
It's a
have
little chilly.
I have to have a pullover when I'm working here because I always get really. I don't think I've ever worked in here. Maybe sometimes during the summer with short sleeves, but very rarely.
We need to get you a bunny blanket.
A bunny blanket that I
Well,
can
then he's not
just
gonna wanna
wrap
leave the
myself
studio.
up in the studio.
Then he's not going to
here.
want to leave the studio.
He'll never
Exactly.
stop working.
Well, gosh, so we don't want to do that. I'm already here too many hours.
all the time.
All right, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together with an earlier collision that occurred at Ajo and Keno. We've got some slowdowns on eastbound Speedway approaching Tucson Boulevard, westbound Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells, westbound Ajo at Mission, and also on southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. 48 the overnight low, 74 sunny tomorrow, and 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Get matched with your perfect bed and save up to $700 on a wide selection of quality mattresses. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. See store for details.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Tune in each weekday from noon to 3 p.m. for The Rich Eisen Show, right here on Tucson's home of Arizona Wildcats football.
Touchdown, Arizona!
And the National Football League. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Pour Downy in a rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be-in-the-room-with-real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Discover Tamal season. Casino del Sol presents the 19th Tucson Tamal and Heritage Festival. Saturday, December 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ava Amphitheater. And it's free and open to the public. Experience more than 100 delicious Tamal vendors from all regions, food vendors, and local live entertainment. Plus artisans, farmers markets, and the famous Best Tamal Contest. The 19th Tucson Tamal and Heritage Festival. Only at Casino del Sol, the soul of Tucson. An enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui Tribe.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIP to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TIP to 321321. That's TIP to 321321.
Like us on Facebook at Wildcats 1290 for all the latest news on the Arizona Wildcats, including exclusive original content and interviews. This is the exclusive home of Arizona football. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, I'm Mike Hamm with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 13 came to a close Monday night in Denver. Jameis Winston threw for 497 yards and 4 touchdowns, but he also threw 3 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes. And the Broncos hold on to beat the Browns 41-32. In San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan announced that Christian McCaffrey will be placed on injured reserve due to a PCL injury he sustained against the Bills on Sunday night. Shanahan added that McCaffrey's injury will not require surgery, and the star running back will be out a minimum of 6 weeks. Staying in the NFC, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport is reporting Taysom Hill will miss the remainder of the season after suffering a torn ACL in Sunday's loss to the Rams. And in New York, interim coach Jeff Ulbrich told reporters that Aaron Rodgers will remain the Jets starting quarterback despite the team losing 8 of their last 9. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare and you want out, you need to get the facts. Wesley Financial Group and its founder, Chuck McDowell, have helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshares permanently, and he may be able to help you too. Call right now. Chuck will send you a timeshare exit information guide free explaining how your timeshare works and all your options for cancellation. You want to call Wesley Financial Group, 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Once again, 800-761-0000.
Guys, it's finally here. Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list. What? Santa has a list too, you know. And he's a huge salted caramel frosty fan. Probably why he's so jolly all the time. The iconic frosty with a salted caramel twist? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Salted caramel frosty flavored with other natural.
If we continue to consume our natural resources at the rate we do now, by 2050, it could take 3 Earths to meet our needs. The Earth can't speak up when it needs help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos, and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze fruit-on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Ford is the back in the shotgun. 42 at Cleveland. The Browns quarterback, Jameis Winston, looks into the nickel. Empties the backfield. 1st and 10, his own 42. The shotgun snap, the short drop, the quick throw far side. It's intercepted! Denver's intercepted in McMillan 40. Sideline 30. Down the sideline 20. 10. 5. Touchdown! It's a pick six! It's a Bronco pick six!
Oh my goodness! A beautiful throw on 3rd down, and he comes back and leaves this way behind. Moore on the throw. A great catch up against the helmet, going to the ground, and nobody touches him. Wherewithal to bounce up and take it back for 6.
Jaquan McClellan, an undrafted free agent out of East Carolina. He was making all the plays last night for the Denver Broncos in their 42-31 win over the Cleveland Browns. That was we talked about yesterday. Our BetQL best bet was take the Broncos minus the 5.5. So that was a 3-star bet. So there was, a little uncomfortable with it. And if you watch the game, you could tell why the line was uncomfortable with it. That, David, is what you call a bad beat.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely a bad beat.
That was a bad beat because the Browns had the lead in that game. So if you had the plus 5.5, you were up. Then the Broncos kicked a field goal to take the lead, but you were still up if you had the Browns in 5.5. You had the Browns driving to potentially kick a field goal and win the game, and that play happens. So now you're down if you've got the Browns at 5.5. But then you had the Browns going down to potentially get a score and potentially try to kick an onside kick to get the ball back. And if they'd scored and you had the Browns at 5.5, you win. But Jameis threw another interception in the end zone. And I was like, we're watching this game, and we're like, who is he throwing that ball to?
It's hard to say. This is why it's called the famous Jameis experiment. I mean, Jameis Winston,
the famous Jameis experience.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where I mentioned to you yesterday. There are days where this guy's going to look efficient and effective, like Bernie Kosar, and then the next minute it's like Brian Sipe throwing in the final 2 minutes in the end zone. The problem was he had two really, really bad picks. The first one first of all, give credit to Nick Bonito on that particular return. That's a linebacker, edge rusher going 71 yards to the house.
I thought it was going to be 3 picks. I was like, man, are we going to have a third pick six here?
Yeah, no, that first pick six, I thought for sure, because it looked like it. When you watch a guy and you can tell when the dog starts getting on his back and he's just huffing it down the field, I thought for sure someone was going to catch him from behind, but no, he had a clear daylight. That one was just Jameis just stared that tight end down in the flat so long. I mean, even I could see that he was trying to throw that one as the emergency, dump off pass. And then the one where he eventually threw it, the bad beat pick six, that one, I don't know why he's not throwing to the sideline there. He threw it to the inner part of the numbers, and that's just how the guy jumped the route. And I thought for sure that guy had to be touched. There's no way he didn't make that entire leap across the field and did not at least get touched or slide out of bounds. And sure enough, on replay, it's like, oh, I guess he was clean. There you go.
Hard to tell if he was touched or not with those two guys going by each other. But yeah, that was a tough one. So if you had the Broncos, that was the play. That was our best bet play last night. If you had the Broncos minus 5.5, you are a winner on that one. And our prop play last night was Cortland Sutton over 60.5 yards, and he had a great game. 6 catches, 102 yards for Cortland Sutton. Like we talked about, you could have even played up to 85 on the plus side and made some money on that one right there. Made some bigger money than taking it at minus 184, which only got you about $7 at our $12.90 bet. But you could have maybe gotten out of there with $18 or $19 if you'd taken him up to about 85, 90 yards in that game.
I mean, of all the passes, though, that happened last night, let's be honest, the prettiest one was Marvin Mims. That one, you couldn't have fit that into a tighter window if you were Bo Nix.
No. I mean, kudos Bo Nix, man. He looked good. I mean, he looked good at times. Like I said, I thought there were some balls he threw. Like, I thought that pass could have been easily interception. He threw a bunch of balls that kind of were just up for grabs. And I thought he was lucky. He hadn't thrown an interception, I think, in 4 games. I thought he was lucky to get out of there with 2.
The funniest
they could have had more than 2.
Yeah, the funniest statistic in that game they kept saying was that Bo Nix had not thrown an interception when the Broncos had been leading, but all his interceptions had been when they were trailing, which I thought was an impressive statistic for a young quarterback. But the game reminded me so much of it. I forget exactly what year it was, but if you recall the old Dan Marino, Drew Bledsoe just shootout that they had in opening week more than a couple years ago, about 2 decades ago, that was kind of what I saw. Just 2 gunslingers just saying, hey, if I'm the one with the ball in my hand in the last second, I'm going to be the one to win it. And sometimes the gunslinger wins. Sometimes the gunslinger shoots himself in the foot. That's just how those games go sometimes.
So we finished 5-3, not a bad weekend. 5-3 on our NFL plays. We had the over on the Giants and the Cowboys, over 45. That hit at 47, with the Cowboys winning 27-20. We lost on the over for the Texans and the Jaguars, as that game came in just under at 43. It was over 44.5, and that one came in under at 43. So we lost on that. We won on the over Lions and Bears, as the over there was 48.5, and that game came in at, what was it? I'm sorry, we won on the under. It was under 48.5, and it came in at 43. So we won on the under play with that game. We lost on the Chiefs minus 14 over the Raiders, much closer. Again, that's a rivalry game. I don't know why they even thought that was going to be a blowout, although, the Raiders have not played well this year, but still, it's a rivalry game. And that was a 2-point win by the Chiefs. We won on the Steelers and 2.5 over the Bengals on the road. So that was, although Ryan Horvat, who was one of the analysts on BetQL, he even though the model said take the Steelers, Ryan Horvath said, don't take the Steelers, take the Bengals. So good thing we did not listen to Ryan Horvath there and listened to the model instead. So we finished 5-3 on football, 7-4 for the weekend as we went 2-1 on our college plays, including Indiana and laying the 29 points over Purdue, which was the final of that game, like 66-0 or something.
It wasn't pretty. Yeah. That's all you got to know is that was not pretty.
You lose. That's like, you lose your job quickly when you lose to your rival by 60-plus points.
Yeah. That being said, that Jaguars and Texans game, I'll give it credit for this. It definitely helped us with the over for fights during rivalry week throughout the football, not just college, but in the NFL as well, because it was not a cordial weekend in football this weekend.
Not at all. So I think we have a play. We'll give you one of our other plays. We have a best bet on tonight's game involving the Cavaliers, my other team. The Cavaliers are playing the worst team in the NBA. I feel so bad for my buddy Chris Miller. Chris Miller is the play-by-play man for the Washington Wizards, and he used to be a sports anchor in Cleveland when I lived there in the early 2000s, and he has just watched a lot of bad basketball the last couple of years.
No win November.
Yeah, 0-14.
0-14 in the month.
0-14 for the Wizards. Good thing our guy Joseph Blair didn't have to sit on the bench and watch that crap anymore either, although I'm sure he'd rather be sitting on in an NBA bench than in the G League, but at least it's not on that NBA bench anymore. All right, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. We're going to talk Arizona football with Glenn Howell at about 5:20. We'll let you hear from Adia Barnes straight ahead. She spoke after the Wildcats win over Seattle last night. We'll let you hear some of what Adia had to say. Also, the Suns are playing tonight at home against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. It is Cup night, as you heard our guy Dragon Ball say. The Suns still have a chance to get into the postseason tournament in Las Vegas. So we'll let you know exactly what has to happen for the Suns to do that tonight. DK on the sports tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
This report is sponsored by KFC. 'Tis the season to fill your table
From the O'Reilly
and feed
Chevrolet
the whole
Traffic Center, it's Wildcats. Traffic and weather together, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Collisions reported at Speedway and Camino Seco and Speedway, Northwest Side, La Cañada and Lambert Lane and La Cañada, and road work on Grant Road, east of Country Club to east of Alvord Way, travels down to 1 lane. Clear skies overnight, 48 the low, 74 sunny tomorrow, and 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by KFC. 'Tis the season to fill your table and feed the whole family with KFC's Festive Feast. Get 6 original recipe tenders, 6 pieces of classic fried chicken, 2 sides, and 3 sauces for just $25.99.
What do you call an elf who sings? A gift wrapper? Yeah, it's pretty bad. But the sale we have during the Red Tag Sale is pretty good. So see us today at O'Reilly Chevrolet.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it. And it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
When you donate a toy, we will donate a toy. It's our annual gift back to our community. We're collecting new, unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots.
And for every toy you donate,
we'll donate another.
For every $1 you donate,
we'll match it. At Alaskan AC, we believe every kid should have a gift under the tree on Christmas morning.
That's why we've partnered with the Marine Corps Toys for Tots once again.
Since 1947, they've collected over 670 million toys,
putting smiles on the faces of over 300 million kids.
And your donations stay right here in town. You can stop by our offices or hand your donation to one of our polar bears when they are at your home.
Alaskan AC loves having fun,
but we're serious about helping kids. So serious,
we're matching your donation.
We'll donate a toy for everyone you donate
and match cash donations dollar for dollar.
Let's make sure every child has a Merry Christmas. For our location or to schedule service, find us at alaskanac.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Wildcats Radio 1290, we're not just radio. We're your source in Tucson for digital marketing solutions. We specialize in creating strategic and effective marketing campaigns designed to get results for your business. Whether you want to target a local, regional, or a national audience, we have the right solution for your business. Call the Wildcats Radio 1290 business line at 520-887-1000 and put Cumulus Digital Media to work for you.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Cricket, did you know that you had a World Cup?
Straight! We're going to have a super over!
Is that like soccer?
I don't understand any of it. I don't understand the terminology. I don't understand. Left-armed seamer, can you believe it or not? He caught a slip.
You don't want to catch a slip.
I don't know what any of those
things
That's
not good at all.
But congrats to the USA for defeating Pakistan.
Yeah, I like the left-hand seamer, though. That sounds like a good thing.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, homeowners. Are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. Tonight, the penultimate college football playoff rankings will be released. And I have Oregon, Texas, SMU, and Boise State receiving first-round byes. And as for the first-round matchups, I'll project the committee tonight to have Penn State hosting Arizona State, Alabama backing their way in and traveling to play Notre Dame, Georgia welcoming in Indiana, and Tennessee having to go play at Ohio State. I'm Zach Gelb.
Arizona football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Place a first touchdown scorer wager today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us to that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, why don't you text the word app to 520-848-1290. I will send you a link. You can download our app. Our app slaps. One of the top stories on our app right now we're about to talk about, and that is your Suns getting set to play tonight in the Emirates Cup with a chance to potentially go for a berth in the quarterfinals of that event, or the knockout stage, I guess we can call it, since it is a soccer-style event. We'll get to that here momentarily, but I was talking in the last segment. I did have a best bet on our BetQL app, our best bet. So head on over to the Desert Diamond Casino Hotel and Sportsbook and play the Cavs game tonight, because this is a 5-star play for you. It is the best team in the Eastern Conference against the worst team in the Eastern Conference. The Cavaliers are 18-3. They cannot advance in this cup group play because two of their 3 losses have been inside this tournament, including one to the Celtics. The Wizards are 2-16 overall. The Cavaliers are a 16.5 point favorite tonight at home. That is the 5-star play, courtesy of BetQL. Take the Cavaliers and lay the 16.5 points tonight against the Wizards. You comfortable with that, Dragon Ball?
I think that's a fair that's a fair bet, I would say.
Fair bet. I think so too. Donovan Mitchell averaging 25 points and 4 assists for the Cavaliers coming in tonight. And on the other side of the lowly Wizards, you've got Jordan Poole averaging 21 points and 5 assists. That game tips off at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. So get that bet in now. Download the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook app and place that play right there. Cavaliers minus 16.5. In fact, let me just check and see if that line has changed for you real quick here on the board. And we'll make sure we got the exact line for you. It's a big line, but the play is to go with the points regardless of what they are. And it is currently what? Oh, gosh, I had it, and then I lost it. Give me a second here. We'll get this right for you here. Okay. It is still 16.5. So play that. You got 14 minutes. I love how they put the clocks here. Lets you know how many minutes you have left to play the game before it starts. You've got 14 minutes now to play that line. Cleveland minus 16.5 over the Washington Wizards tonight. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. The Suns coming off a win over the weekend against the Golden State Warriors.
Swings it out to Booker. Extra pass sets up the look for Durant, who splashes it home. Durant gets the screen, raising up over the defender, rattles it in as Wiggins right in his grill. Wiggins trying to stay attached to Durant. Tough double clutch pull-up, and I say tough. Durant working on the smaller. Lindy Waters easily raising up over. Waters finds the trailing Spencer. Spencer on the drive. Durant got a piece of it. And then they hand to Looney. Back across to Waters. Snakes across the baseline. 4 on the shot clock. Durant stepping out on Waters. Trying to get rid of it. Durant. Give it up to Durant. Sets up the flyby. Elbow jumper. Money.
Man, somebody get Kuminga a ticket. You can't let the clock run all the way down.
Durant behind the stride. Boom!
This is actually one of the more fun groups left to kind of figure out here. This is Group B in the West because the Spurs enter. They're 2-1 with a point differential of 14. The Thunder are 2-1 with a point differential of 18. And the Suns are 2-1 with a point differential of 19. The Jazz will take on the Thunder tonight. The Jazz, of course, are not very good, and that's a road game. And then the Spurs and Suns will duke it out on the other side of this particular bracket. So a lot of the Suns right now are in the second spot in the West Wild Card behind Dallas. Dallas has a huge differential. They're at 41. The Suns are at 19. So that's kind of where we are going into this thing. The Suns have a chance. Either way, I think if they probably want to win. If they win, they win the group. I think, depending on what happens, they would depend on how much they win by and how much the Spurs win by. So if they win, they want to win by a lot. I'm sorry, the Thunder. If they win, they want to win by a lot to keep themselves in that second wild card spot, regardless of what happens.
Right.
Yeah, you want to have them win today, the Suns, obviously. The best way to get in is you got to hope that the Jazz are able to pull off a major upset and give the Thunder a loss to finish up group play. Then it's a matter of, okay, the 2-2 teams between the Spurs and the Thunder, they just got the point differential thing to go ahead and worry about. That's in the essence what the best case scenario for the Suns is right now to make sure they get to that knockout stage.
Kevin Durant obviously is back in the lineup, and anytime that he's back on the floor, that's a good thing for this team. In that game on Saturday, he had 21 points for the Suns and talked about the win over the Warriors.
I think game plan discipline was there. I think it's something we talked about the last 2 days on how we wanted to guard this team. This is a unique team. You know, they present a lot of different challenges because they play random basketball. You never know when screens come in or back screen or so you got to be aware for 24 seconds of the shot clock, and I like our attention to detail on both ends, especially after we kind of laid an egg on that side of the ball last game, So it's good throughout the season when you can kind of bounce back from stuff like that. It really shows you who you are as a team.
The other thing I had was when you have Ryan and Oso out there, as far as, Devin's like as young legs, as energy, but when they're contributing, particularly on the defensive end, how big is that?
That's huge. I mean, we trust them we expect that out of them. I think that's what they bring to our team is that energy, that aggressiveness on defense, that physicality on defense, and then challenging at the rim. I think that's something that Coach always emphasized to everybody, not just the bigs, but everybody just kind of had that collision mindset at the rim where you just want to disrupt the play, So we keep practicing that and keep building those habits. I think it'll be second nature to us. And you see it with Oso and Ryan. They just want to get on the court, so they're going to do those little things for us. And, so they're setting a high standard for themselves every night.
On the other end, you guys had 31 assists on your 38 made field goals. It felt like the ball was moving as well as it has all season. How did you like the way that you guys were moving it around?
Yeah, I feel like that's just who we are. I think we've been having some great ball movement throughout the season. I mean, sometimes they don't always equal up to 18 threes, but, we still get the good shots up. I thought Monte was great off the bench, not playing a lot of minutes the last few games, but coming in and just being a consummate pro, doing everything we needed to do was incredible and leading that second unit. So everybody just came in and did their part, and we know if we play off of each other and move the basketball, make the game easier for one another.
You're no stranger to those kind of extended post-ups and the attention that they create. How have you liked the way that you guys have functioned when you or Book have been in those spots?
In the post?
Like the extended posts where you kind of attract the double team?
Yeah. I mean, when we get that mismatch out there, and a lot of teams are nervous about us playing one-on-one, so if it's not a full-on trap, they might just shade a little bit and play somewhat of a zone, and then we can swing and we get threes on the backside as well. So just being a threat to score. Sometimes even if you don't shoot the ball, it just puts fear in the defense. So we're going to stay in those spots as much as we can, but keep finding our teammates as much as we can too.
Kevin, Royce is shooting over 46% from three off the catch for you guys this year. Just what can you speak about his reliability?
I mean, I expect that of Royce. This is my second time hooping with Royce, and Brooklyn is the same way. And people were surprised that he was knocking down shots, so he's, get a triple-double or make a game winner, and I'm just sitting here like, that's what he's supposed to do, So I don't get excited no more when Royce has a good game. I just chalk it up and just that's who he is, and we move on to the next one. So he's a confident player, and when he shoots that thing, we want him to be confident. He's even better getting to the rim. He I wouldn't say even better, but he's pretty good at getting to the rim, shooting that floater this year. So we want him to be aggressive, and tonight it was one of those nights for him.
Kevin, on that open three late, Draymond always trying to be in the spot he can be to affect the play. What'd you see from your perspective that led to the breakdown?
Yeah, I think I had got Steph on me right there, or Lindy Water. I forget who it was, and it was Pajemski, and he was trying to get that cross match so he can guard me again, and I think somebody might have cut. I don't know who it was, but it felt like he was in between guarding two guys, and I just popped for the three, and that was a huge play for us. We needed that. We was only up 6 at that point. That kind of calmed us down a bit.
It's not often.
All right, Kevin Durant talking a little bit about the Suns' win over the weekend over the Golden State Warriors. They'll play the Spurs tonight. Tip-off coming up for you at 7 o'clock up at the Footprint Center. San Antonio enters the game as a 7.5-point underdog. So if you're taking the Suns and laying the points at 108, is the bet tonight on the big board over at the Desert Diamond Casino. So if you lay that at $12.90, that will get you back $12 even if the Suns cover. Victor Wembanyama and company coming into Tucson. Always good to see the young big man, and what he's been able to do is battled a few injuries this season, but coming off his third career triple-double on Sunday. And in the win over the Sacramento Kings, 34 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists with 5 made threes in that game. He's been making a lot of threes this season, Dragon Ball.
When you have size of that outlandish, some would call it otherworldly level, if you can add range to it, suddenly we used to talk a lot about how Larry Bird had the most unblockable shot because of where he released the ball from. That is now the most unblockable shot because no one's tall enough to block Victor Wembanyama on the block.
He is, 24 points, 10 rebounds, so he's averaging a double-double this season in 17 games that he's played. 4 assists, 4 blocks, and he's made 55 threes in 17 games. So that's about, that's about 4 threes a game.
And not only that, but
if my math is correct, 51,
most of those shots
a little over 3
are coming off of a very good pass. Again, you got to remember the Spurs are 4th in the West right now on assists per game at 28. Chris Paul, he's averaging 8 assists a game. And when you got a big guy like Wembanyama, you can throw it down. It reminds me of early on in Chris Paul's career, he had Tyson Chandler, and he would just lob it up to him down low. This is a guy that you can lob it or you can kick it out from beyond the arc, and he's got the range to hit either of those shots.
So, again, as we enter group play tonight, San Antonio and Phoenix are 2-1. The Oklahoma City Thunder are also 2-1. They will face the Jazz, who are 0-3. The Spurs will win the group with a victory over the Suns. Phoenix can win the group with a victory over San Antonio and an Oklahoma City loss tonight. So that's what has to happen. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Hour number 2 in the books. Hour number 3 coming up. We're going to talk to Glenn Howe, break down Arizona Wildcats football as we do every Tuesday. We'll do it one more time. And also we'll let you hear from Medea Barnes after the win last night. We'll hear what the head coach had to say about the ladies bouncing back after a couple of losses over in Palm Springs. But do you ever really lose when you get to go spend a couple days in Palm Springs?
Palm Springs, the Bahamas.
Yeah, exactly.
Go down the water slide.
I don't know if there's any losses in going to spend a couple days in either American or Bohemian paradise.
Not unless you're Dan Hurley, in which case Maui is like the worst nightmare for you now.
Not a place. So we can talk about that too. He says he's done. He's done with MTEs. He doesn't. Apparently you guys, like J-Dub said, apparently they think they're Duke now. They don't need to play in these events because they've won 2 national championships in a row now.
Yep.
We don't need these MTEs to go out and help ourselves recruit. We're UConn. So we'll see how that transpires moving forward. Dragon Ball has got everything happening in sports here in Southern Arizona and across the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, the Arizona volleyball team, if you recall, was not able to make it to the national tournament, but as they prepare for the NVIC, the Cats did get a number of honors from this year's Big 12 All-Conference selections. Both Jalen Hodge and Jordan Wilson earned first-team honors. Avery Scoggins and Carlie Cisneros both earned all-rookie honors. Scoggins was also placed on the second-team All-Big 12 squad. Congratulations to the ladies out there. And the Cardinals now sitting in second place of the NFC West with their hopes hinging on a division title. The Cardinals and head coach Jonathan Gannon are looking to find more creative ways to get their offense up and running again, including finding rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. a little bit more of an opportunity out in the field.
They played a little bit differently on him too, a little bit. Oh, not on him, just in general. I thought that they played a little bit more man than we were expecting. I think it's just the rhythm and details of the passing game and making plays and, a couple times I thought he had some opportunities and the ball didn't go up to him. You know what I mean? So, and you would like to see the ball go up to him for a number of reasons. You know what I mean? Not pointing blame at anybody. It's just the ball didn't find him. But when the ball finds him, he has a chance to make plays. So we'll keep looking at everything, making sure that we're putting him in the right spots, that he feels really good about what he's doing with the quarterback, that he feels really good about what's going on, and keep utilizing him.
And over the past 3 games, Harrison only has 13 catches with 2 touchdowns, 60 yards being the highest he had in that game against the Vikings this last Sunday. And 4 more names were added to this year's NFL Hall of Fame finalist list. Super Bowl winning head coach for the Green Bay Packers, Mike Holmgren, getting in the vote, as well as former Packer wideout Sterling Sharp, former Eagles and Rams linebacker Maxie Vaughn, and Kansas City Chiefs offensive tackle Jim Trier getting the votes for this year's seniors category. And I am Dragon Ball, and that's been your 2020 Sports Update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. And collisions that are reported at Speedway and Camino Seco, Irvington and Cardinal, and also La Cañada and Lambert Lane. And big pavement improvements have started today on Tucson Boulevard between 6th Street and Grant Road. You might save time using Campbell instead. 48 your overnight low, 74, sunny skies tomorrow, and is 77 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
So you have approval to order more. Oh, it's just me, guys. Why are you dressed like that? It's my polar bear costume. I almost called the exterminator. Just trying to drum up business for winter Alaska vacations. Since when are polar bears so short? Gary, Alaskan AC doesn't have to do silly stunts. People all over town love our Alaska vacations. Who else promises no breakdowns for a full year? Check this out. Don't do that here. Well, when I spin the sign outside, it looks awesome. I thought Wrecking Ron's office was pretty awesome. Gary, I love your enthusiasm, but I don't think we need you dressed up in a polar bear costume to tell people about our winter Alaska vacations. Everyone knows Alaskan AC does more than just tune up the heater. We clean, tighten, calibrate, and polish the heater so it's good as new. So good, we guarantee no breakdowns for an entire year. Now take off that silly costume. Okay. And give it to William. What? You're more polar bear sized. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not putting this. Oh, and schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
1290 is the only radio station that can bring you all the action of Arizona Wildcats with Brian Jeffries behind the mic for Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Guys, it's finally here. Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list. What? Santa has a list too, you know. And he's a huge salted caramel frosty fan. Probably why he's so jolly all the time. The iconic Frosty with a salted caramel twist? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Salted caramel Frosty flavored with other natural flavoring.
At Wildcats Radio 1290, we're not just radio. We're your source in Tucson for digital marketing solutions. We specialize in creating strategic and effective marketing campaigns designed to get results for your business. Whether you want to target a local, regional, or a national audience, we have the right solution for your business. Call the Wildcats Radio 1290 business line at 520-887-1000 and put Cumulus Digital Media to work for you.
Get ready, Wildcats fans! This Saturday, it's a showdown. Arizona men's basketball takes on Southern Utah at McGill Center. Tip-off is at noon with the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona game day starting at 8:30 a.m. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
KZUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The one and only home of Arizona football. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 of the program on this Tuesday. We're going to talk some Arizona football in this hour. Wildcat Breakdown. The final Wildcat Breakdown of the 2024 season. Season number 15 for Glenn Howe and I, dissecting all things Arizona Wildcats football. So we'll break it down one more time for you as the Wildcats season ended on Saturday with a 49-47 loss. They are talking about the latest college football playoff rankings right now on ESPN. We'll keep you abreast of what is happening there in terms of who's got what and where they are and all of that good stuff. As well. You heard at the top of the hour in Dragon Ball's update, the postseason awards are starting to come out for a number of the Big 12 fall campaigns that are coming to an end, and one of those is volleyball. The postseason awards came out for that today, and a little surprising that Avery Scoggins, who we thought she'd won with, I think she won 4 times, was the Big 12 newcomer of the week, but not selected was Avery as the Big 12 Rookie of the Year. Nope, that in fact did not go to her. So it's a little surprising. Thought that she would probably have a great opportunity to solidify that particular award, but no such luck. But she and Carlie Cisneros did, in fact, make the Big 12 all-freshmen or all-newcomers team. So congratulations and shout-out to both of them as well. We're going to hear from Carlie Cisneros here momentarily. We had a chance to talk to Arizona Volleyball. They're going to play in the National Volleyball Invitational event, NVIC, which is kind of the secondary tournament, obviously, to the NCAA. This will be the second time in the last 4 years they've played in this particular event, and they are going to host that event this weekend, so we'll give you the schedule on that. There'll be a preliminary game involving the other 2 teams in the event, and then the winner will play U of A. So they've got a chance potentially to host this tournament all the way through, and who knows, maybe even potentially win the event. But I want you to hear from Charita Stubbs today, the head coach, second season, on Sunday when they watched the NCAA selection show and found out that they were not going to the postseason.
It was probably the most painful moment that I've been in with a team as we sat there and watched and whatnot. And then once they were finished, we kind of turned the television off and I walked forward and walked backwards, walked forward, because I wasn't prepared for that. And then you just speak from the heart and let them know that we feel your pain and we understand. We did everything that we thought we were capable of doing to get there. And I've since spoken to several people that kind of explained that it was our non-competitive preseason, but gave kudos to us for scheduling the way we did because the girls had to learn how to win. after last season we didn't win enough and they didn't understand. And so you just have to go back and say, okay, let's grind this through and figure out how to get the right competition, which honestly scheduling is the hardest part of the job because you don't know how good a team's going to be. You don't know what a team will get or lose because of the transfer portal. And so one of the stats that is used is KPI, and KP told the Big 12 conference last year to wait as long as you can to schedule. And I'm like, whew, that was brutal. It was painful sitting there trying to wait and see and the right team and look at the rosters and stuff like that. So that's all I can do is go back and try to put us in the right position. And I found out that winning on the road is better than winning at home, and winning at a neutral site is better than winning at home.
Yeah, it's and they didn't really play any neutral site events this year. They did obviously go to a couple of tournaments. They went to the New Mexico State tournament. They went to the University of Alabama or Alabama State tournament where they did face the University of Alabama there, but and won that game, and obviously also swept through the event at New Mexico State, but just not enough top flight competition across the board in any of those opportunities, even though they beat a Power 5 team in Alabama at that other event. But, I mean, Alabama volleyball at the time, Alabama was undefeated, but the Crimson Tide finished 11-16 overall and lost 13 of their 16 games in the SEC. So at the end of the day, it was not a win that held a whole lot of weight with the committee. This was a team in Arizona volleyball that won their last 7 matches in a row. It was after they had a bad loss at home against Kansas State, and it looked like the season was about to come apart at that point because the next game was just 2 nights later against the 8th-ranked team in the country, the Kansas Jayhawks. And after that loss, the ladies had a team meeting, and we had talked about that before. What can team meetings do for you? What can players-only meetings do for you? Well, we saw what it did for this team. They went on a 7-match run to at least put themselves in the position to potentially make the NCAA tournament and to get a berth in the postseason. Carlie Cisneros talked today, and I asked Carlie if she spoke up. Obviously, number 1 recruit in the country. Coming in here is the top recruit, one of the top recruits ever at the University of Arizona for volleyball, and a young lady who's going to be the face of this program and going to be the leader of this program. And I asked her if she, in that instance, as still a freshman, spoke up in that meeting that the players had.
I talked a little bit about just playing as one and knowing how good we are, but handling pressure. Like our seniors, we look up to them a lot, and it's those who can handle the high pressure moments and like who we can trust in those high pressure situations that can carry a team. And the teams that are successful have more than one player that can do that. So we talked about that in our meeting, being that player that they can go to in difficult moments when they need a kill or they need a pass.
Obviously, you came in here with the reputation, but how long did it take for you to get to a place where you felt comfortable, maybe standing up and voicing, what you wanted to voice inside this program?
My teammates, honestly, when they told me that, like, we'll be in the middle of a match and they'll just be like, Carlie, we trust you, take my seam. Like, Carlie, we trust you, do this. And when women who have been playing this sport at the collegiate level way longer than I have are telling me that they trust me in these situations, it makes me want to be that player for them. So that's when I kind of felt like I had a voice and that I was being heard when I realized how much my teammates trusted me.
And David, that's never easy. I mean, you're a freshman. You come in, obviously, number 1 recruit in the country. You got to find your time. Got to find your time to voice those types of things. But it was clear, just kind of watching this thing all year long, that you had a feeling that Carlie's voice was going to be, just talking to her in the preseason, you could tell she's got that leadership quality about her, and it wasn't going to be very long before she was going to be somebody that could step up and express her thoughts when things were not going as planned.
In certain college sports, you can get a freshman that walks right in and just dominates. and they will take control. I mean, basketball is probably the easiest example of that in the collegiate sports. With volleyball, it's really, in essence, you have to have the trust of everybody. Everyone needs to know where they are going to be at any given set. And the fact that Carlie has that and feels confident in saying that, no, my teammates trust me, and that's all I need to know. That's a good sign for this crew moving forward as they get ready for the NVIC.
And that'll be this weekend at McHale Center, the NVIC. I keep wanting to call it the NIVC because of NIT, which is essentially what this tournament is. But it's the I is second, so it's NVIC. It'll be Weber State and Pacific on Friday afternoon. This will be a Friday afternoon event. And then on Saturday evening, it'll be the winner of that game against Arizona. So we'll have two events on Saturday at McHale Center. We'll have the men's basketball game at noon, U of A and Southern Utah, and then we'll have volleyball in the evening, either Weber State or Pacific against the University of Arizona. Cricket rejoins us now here in studio. And Cricket, you have got things galore just falling out of your pockets. I mean, you guys just got all this stuff, whether it's tickets, whether it's sweet deals. You got all kinds of stuff for the people, don't you?
I do. I mean, and if you like to save money, we got some deals for you.
Ooh.
So some fun. There's a holiday snowfest in Phoenix. It's a sweet deal. You can get VIP tickets for half off, only $30, and the VIP treatment includes things like you get to make s'mores, you get hot cocoa, meet Santa, you get to toss snowballs and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Holiday Snowfest in Phoenix for $30 a ticket. The Blue Whale Car Wash, one ultimate service car wash, only $17. Jamba, you can pay $25 but get $50 to spend. And another sweet deal from Dave & Buster's. Get a $25 power card and a $25 card for food for only $25. And that's at wildcatsradio1290.com and click on the tab that says Sweet Deals.
Are you Jamba? Are you Dave & Buster's? Are you into Snowfests types events? Are you into all of that stuff?
Snow is too cold. born and
it's
raised
not
in
real.
Tucson.
It's
Are
not
you sure?
real.
Are you sure?
It's in Scottsdale, for crying out loud.
Okay, yeah, that is true. They say it's like didn't they say something in there about like it being the biggest toboggan?
Yeah, they
something?
may. I don't know how they're going to keep that snow good up there, especially when it's been unseasonably warm.
Well, the way I see it, you can just use it for shaved ice, and that's about as good as it can get.
Yeah.
Oh, so
That works.
So what are you saying? Like take your own
take a little snow
thing
cone as you go down the toboggan. You just have a little cone outside, and you just pick up the slush as you roll down the hill.
Bring your Stanley Cup.
There you go. And there's all kinds of great stuff there. Dave & Buster's. You have a favorite game you like to play?
Skee ball.
Dave & Buster's.
You like skee ball?
Skee ball's the old classic.
I liked Walking Dead because there's a big
Big
gun.
crossbow,
yeah.
There's a little Walking Dead game in there where you get into like a little booth and you can shoot a crossbow at a bunch of the zombies.
I'm terrible
I'm sorry,
at it.
The Walkers.
The
I'm
Walkers.
sorry, the Walkers.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. Where have you been?
All right.
Yes.
All kinds. Get those sweet deals. We still have them available. WildcatsRadio1290.com, and just click on the button that says Sweet Deals. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Broadway near Swan, a serious collision occurred there involving a motorcyclist and some slowing at the intersection of Swan and Broadway. Also some slowdowns on westbound I-10 between Valencia and just as you pass Alvernon Way. More slowing eastbound I-10 near the Ajo-Kino connection. And let's see, for your weather, 48 the overnight low, 74 sunny tomorrow, and a 75 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay, with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
NFL Sunday Night Football plays here.
Shotgun snap to Allen. Back to pass. Allen sets his feet, steps up in the pocket. Allen looking to run. He's going to head to the right, across the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Bills.
This Sunday night, it's the LA Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't think it matters where we play at. Doesn't matter about the conditions. We knew that coming in here. Doesn't matter, man. That's just the way you're built.
Coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. We are Tucson's home for the National Football League. Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's an ugly game, but will there be points? I'm Sammy P, here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Tennessee is laying more than a field goal against Jacksonville in an NFL game that has zero playoff implications. But if you're looking for a reason to watch, the BetQL model does have an angle on the total. BetQL over 40 is a 5-star best bet. I'm Sammy P. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
When you donate a toy, we will donate a toy.
It's our annual gift back to our community.
We're collecting new, unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots.
And for every toy you donate,
we'll donate another.
For every dollar you donate,
we'll match it.
At Alaskan AC, we believe every kid should have a gift under the tree on Christmas morning.
That's why we've partnered with the Marine Corps Toys for Tots once again.
Since 1947, they've collected over 670 million toys,
putting smiles on the faces of over 300 million kids.
And your donations stay right here in town. You can stop by our offices or hand your donation to one of our polar bears when they are at your home.
Alaskan AC loves having fun,
but we're serious about helping kids. So serious,
we're matching your donation.
We'll donate a toy for every one you donate
and match cash donations dollar for dollar.
Let's make sure every child has a Merry Christmas.
For our location or to schedule service, find us at alaskanac.com.
And the Wildcats have won it. What a day at McHale Center. What's the best part of being at McHale Center live for Arizona basketball? Being right up against the action, witnessing history, and not only watching the game, but feeling that. Join the party because the place to be in Tucson is McHale Center with 15,000 of your closest Wildcat friends. Help your Wildcats protect home court and lock in your tickets today. Call 520-621-2287 or visit ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down. Go Cats.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Are 30-day sample packs available?
You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TryRexMD.com with generics if appropriate. Online approval at TryRexMD.com is simple, with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit TryRexMD.com to get your sample pack. That's TryRexMD.com.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The UCLA basketball team is off to a hot start, and they are now 8-0 on the season. After their huge victory over defending national champ South Carolina on November 24th, the Bruins earned their first #1 ranking in program history. Then, the Bruins traveled to Honolulu, where they won all 3 games in the Rainbow Wahine Showdown. They ended the event with a 70-49 win over Hawaii on Sunday. Junior Kiki Rice shined for UCLA in the victory, finishing with 21 points. The Bruins are coached by Corey Close, who is in her 14th year on the job. They are led by center Lauren Betts, who leads the team in points and rebounds amid the program's historic start.
I'm just really honored for our team that we got that ranking and everything, but obviously now, we do have a very big target on our back, so just need to keep our heads down and just keep working every day because the job's not done, obviously.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on Westwood One.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We are the Veterans Health Administration, and our hands provide life-changing care to over 9 million veterans across more than 1,200 facilities nationwide. Join hands with us to make an impact in your community. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
100 years ago, there were 100,000 tigers in the wild. Today, there are as few as 3,200. The Earth's wild animals can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's the Wildcat Hour, which means it's time for our Arizona Insiders.
Am I late?
No, my boy, you're just in time. Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions of U of A football and the Big 12. So bear down, Wildcat Nation, and let's talk Arizona football. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Breaking down Arizona Wildcats football, U of A loses in the 98th Territorial Cup game 49-7 to ASU. The Sun Devils are on to the Big 12 championship game. The Wildcats season comes to an end at a disappointing 4-8. Pleased to be joined by Glenn Howe, U of A football class of 1985. Glenn, I hope you didn't fight any of those Sun Devils that were getting on the plane with you in Chicago the other night.
I actually kind of did, and I got banned from Southwest Airlines. I'm just kidding. I was representing, Dave. I was representing. I couldn't take it on the chin.
No, not at all.
So, but we're good. It was a not an enjoyable flight. My wife was sitting by next to one of the ladies that had the hat on.
Oh, geez.
And she kind of like just kept her mouth, just didn't say anything.
Wow. Yeah, that's a tough flight. That's a tough couple of hours to have to deal with right there. So, Glenn, you want to get your thoughts on the news, obviously, that popped on late Sunday night that Brent Brennan will get a second season here at the University of Arizona.
Well, yeah, I tell you, he needs to get another season. He can't fire the guy in 1 year. I understand he had a disappointing year. Everybody's disappointed. He's disappointed. I think every Wildcat in the nation is disappointed. But he needs to get another year and find out what he can do. Give him a full year, some recruiting, and then also, we've got to get that NIL money and go out and get a new roster.
It's interesting, Glenn. We've been kind of talking about it the last couple of days, just how to attack this from the player standpoint. And I think the model that you want to use is obviously you maybe want to try to go and get and target some of the best players that are playing at Group of 5 schools. I mean, it's kind of what we've seen here. We saw Jacob Cowing, who the year before he came here, he was one of the top receivers at a Group of 5 school. We saw Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt come in here this past season, and although he didn't play, he was one of the top running backs
last year at a Group of 5 school. Now, the interesting thing about both of those kids ending up at the University of Arizona is that there was something of a personal connection there. Obviously, you had Jacob Cowing, who was from Arizona, from Maricopa, had a child, wanted to come back to play closer to home. So there was a fit there within the program. Now, granted, it had to be the right fit, but it was. You had Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who had played for Danny Gonzalez in New Mexico, and now Gonzalez was on this staff. So, there might have been a comfort fit there for him to make this the next place for him to come. So it's not necessarily just about going out and targeting the best players in Group of 5, but there's got to be some type of connection there. And we know that obviously these guys recruited at San Jose. They probably tried to reach for, and we know that they recruited a guy like Speedy Luke, who ended up at a Power 5 school that they didn't get. Those are the guys they need to be trying to reach out to, guys that have ended up on Power, that they maybe have relationship with, that have ended up on Power 5 rosters, who are now looking for that second place.
Dave, it's all about relationships. It's relationships. Recruiting is relationships. Building relationships with these kids and their parents. Now it's their parents you have to build relationships with. I mean, it's, before it was like, my dad didn't really talk to anybody, any of the recruiters except for on signing day when they came to the house.
Yeah.
Other than that, now they're talking to them on Twitter. They're talking to them, there's relationships building and people knowing, that my friend knew that dad or, something like that. We have to be able to do that and get these guys in here. And, right now they're probably evaluating every single player on that roster. They're given, they're getting a scale. Let's just say they do 1 to 5 scale. Is this kid, is he going to be good to be developed as he was with the program? Was he working hard in practice? And then you got another evaluation going on the coaches. Brett is looking at his coaches and seeing if he's evaluating his coaches of how are those players developing in that group that they are coaching? Or do we have guys that are going to be potential starters? Or we have guys that fell off that we thought were going to be good that never developed? Those are kind of things that are happening right now, and those evaluations are happening, and we're going to probably see a different kind of, team next year.
Glenn, we talked all season, or at least at times during the season, about the strength and conditioning piece because, that's always going to be one of the things maybe that's different when you turn over a coaching regime. What would you, as somebody that works in this space, what would you like to see? Maybe what did you notice this year maybe about the way that the team was put together, the guys were? What are some of the things you think that they maybe aren't doing that you would like to see them do in terms of strength and conditioning?
Well, as far as strength and conditioning, I didn't really have any issues looking at the players and looking at how they were on the field when I'm on the sideline and at practice. I didn't really have any issues of what they were doing as far as strength and conditioning. We didn't have a lot of hamstrings. We didn't have a lot of shoulder injuries, things like that. So, all the injuries were knee injuries, some other kind of injuries that were freak accidents. So I think that
basically
doing a good job at the strength and conditioning part, and it takes a year for those guys to really, he only had a couple of months when he got here, and then to buy in. But now these guys are going to have a whole full year with them, and then we can start making some evaluations about how that strength and conditioning program is. I thought our guys were fast. I thought our guys were built good. I didn't see any really sloppy guys. I saw some guys slim down. I thought that was good. So let's give him another year and let's see what we can do and see how that ends up, during spring ball, how they look differently having this whole winter break and also going into the spring.
Glenn Howell joining us. It's Wildcat Breakdown. It is your Arizona Insider for today, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light, choose chill. Glenn, if there's a different, if there's moves made in terms of the handlers of the offensive and the defensive units, which is what we're expecting there to be. Let's go offense first. If we're bringing back Noah Fafita, he's the quarterback. What do you want to see this next offensive regime or this next offensive coordinator do to make him the best quarterback that he can be?
Well, I think that we need to roll him out. We need to get him better at throwing on the run, get him rolled out, make sure that he is just protected. If he's protected, I think he can make some sound throws. He's got a great arm. I think we got to involve the tight end a lot more, and I think we need to have some more, some screens, some short things to get the offense rolling, and maybe do some up-tempo offense, where no huddle and getting to the line of scrimmage and doing that and getting the defense on their heels and letting them play. And then, also – I think Noah's got to get better at throwing the long ball. We got to work with him, and his off season's got to work with throwing the long ball, the deep throw. And I think we have some guys that can go deep. So we need to be able to hit that and get better at that. And then the offensive line just got to get better all the whole line. We got to run the ball more efficiently. We got to be able to get to the second level. Those are important things for the offensive line. Take care of the first level and then get to the second level. And we got to just get better at that.
If you roll him out, though, there's the belief, though, that if you roll a quarterback out, that you're cutting off half the field. What do you say to that?
No, I don't think so. It's just, there's different plays and routes that you can use to do that. Just roll them out just to get the defense off of, back on their heels. Just do some different things, some more play action. But you can't play action if you're not running the football.
True.
So we have to be able to run the football. The football's got to be – we got to be able to jam it down people's throats. And if we don't get better at the run game, then we're going to be a one-dimensional team.
We're joined by Glenn Howell. We're going to talk some more Arizona football, breaking down the Wildcats with Glenn Howell. He'll stay with us. Cricket, though, right now getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. We've got an earlier collision that occurred at Broadway and Swan and Broadway Boulevard. Pretty serious collision involving a motorcycle. And there's backups and restrictions at the intersection of Broadway and Swan. And also, we've got some slowdowns for travel on I-10 eastbound approaching Ajo Kino, slowing westbound I-10 approaching and passing Alvernon Way. 48, the overnight low, 74, sunny skies tomorrow, and 74 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by PayPal.
This season, the PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get exclusive cashback offers in the app. And with the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select warehouse clubs in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local retailer today. Navage. Navage. Breathe easy.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. This past weekend, NFL on Fox and NFL Network reporter Peter Schrager said Marcus Freeman of Notre Dame is a name to watch for the Chicago Bears head coaching vacancy. I get why Freeman would be interested, but why would the Bears? Let's keep it simple here, Chicago. Only 3 names should have a chance at getting this job, and those names are Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick, and Ben Johnson. I'm Zach Gelb.
Arizona football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Place a first touchdown scorer wager today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Breaking down Arizona Wildcats football with my guy Glenn Howe. U of A season over at 4-8 after a 49-7 loss to the rival Sun Devils in the Territorial Cup game. We're talking about what's next for Arizona football in terms of the structure of how this team is going to move going forward. Glenn, we talked a little bit about the offensive side of the ball. Let's dive in on the defense. What do you believe the immediate things that need to be set in place there so that the Wildcats can be more successful on that side of the ball moving forward?
We need some big guys up front, Dave. We need some 340 guys. Some wide bodies up front. That's what we need. We need some wide bodies, and hopefully Trey Smith will be developing in that massive pass rusher. That we were planning on to have him be this year. He can develop, and we just need to get some more big guys up front, and then linebackers. We need some linebackers. Hopefully Jacob Manu stays, and we don't know what his status is, and if he stays, we need to have somebody next to him that's going to be able to play, and we get that position solid. And linebacker, we can have a pretty decent defensive defense with the DBs that we have, and if those guys stay, developing those guys and making sure those guys, if you have a pass rush, DBs can be looking like All-Americans. You have a pass rush.
Yeah, Glenn, it's interesting, that you bring up the linebacker position, because that was obviously one that I looked at going into the season. I thought was a huge concern, because you really only had one marquee player there that had experience in Jacob Manu, and then obviously everyone else that was kind of starting in there was young. When you look at a Tay Brown and a Kamu Kahue, and then the veteran. I think the other thing that hurt them early on, and these kind of went under the radar because they weren't in-game injuries, but the injuries that essentially took out Leviticus Sua, who you thought might be a guy that could step in there and be a quality backup, and he got hurt early on and never really played, and Jarrett Small just never really was able to step in there and create much for you either.
And Justin Flo, we never seen him hit the field. There's some other guys that we never even saw. So that position has to be developed, and we have to get some guys in here that want to play that position and really excel, because that's what we have to get. We got to get some big bodies up front to protect those linebackers, because they're getting engulfed by these offensive linemen going up to the second level. And if you have big guys up front, those are your blockers. Ask Ricky Hundley and Lamont Hundley and Byron Evans.
Right.
They had big fellas up front that never touched them, and they were just making tackles everywhere.
Yeah, and it's tough because there's just not a lot of those guys out there, Glenn. What's the best way, and is the portal the best way to go for those types of guys? We saw them go into the portal and get all those guys this year. They brought in a Trey Smith and a Lance Kennelly and some of those other guys, Chase Kennedys that had played at bigger schools, Stanford and Utah. And those guys flashed at times, but there just never wasn't a lot of game-to-game consistency between all those veteran line guys that they brought in.
Well, I would be looking at all the portals in the SEC because they are just loaded with big fellas up front on the defensive side of the ball. That's where defensive linemen, the best defensive linemen go to play. And there's some guys in there that might be a little disgruntled, might be a little bit, not getting enough playing time, or some other guys in front of them that would be great for us to get. And we just got to find those guys. We got to, you talk about the evaluation. We got to be evaluating our player personnel guy, the guy that's looking and finding these guys.
Yeah.
So they have to be on. They got to evaluate that guy too. So that guy's got to be evaluated and see what kind of talent we're bringing in, and that's got to be on a year-to-year basis. And we got to get those guys in here.
And finally, Glenn, it's kind of like, obviously, as we're kind of moving into this new era of college football, it's the NIL piece What do you want to see there in terms of how this athletics department and these collectives kind of reshape themselves to put Arizona in a position where they can make big time offers to guys, get guys in here, whether it's out of high school or through the transfer portal? What needs to happen with the NIL piece and the collective piece to push this university forward?
Dave, the only thing is just more money from somebody's gonna have to donate a lot of money. I'm not that guy right now, but someone's gonna have to donate a lot of money.
We got to go out and buy those lottery tickets before. We got to go out and buy those Mega Millions tickets tonight.
There's a big one tonight.
Everybody go out and buy one ticket.
yeah, one ticket. But you know what? But the thing is, Dave, you know what has to happen is the NCAA. If they meant anything, if they were any relevance to anything in college sports, which I think they aren't, if they wanted to, they would put in a salary cap, a cap on NIL for each team to have in each conference. That's what they need to do. If they could do that, that will save a lot of teams. I'm telling you, because if you only had so much money to spend, that's it. Every team was at equal. Then we would level the playing field a little bit. Then the little guys like us would have a chance, So I think that's what they need. That's what needs to happen. Some kind of legislation. You're not going to be able to depend on the legislation, man. It's so crazy they can't even pass anything. So but if they could do something, the NCAA, and put a cap on it, that would save, I think, a lot of college football teams.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. That's that. I don't know if that's anything that's coming here in the near future, but maybe down the line. That I absolutely agree with you, though. Some type of cap has to be put on this whole situation to try to keep everybody in a competitive stance here. But I just don't know how soon that's going to happen.
I don't think the big money teams like the Texases and the USCs and the Michigan, Ohio States do not want that to happen because they want to just be able to buy all their players.
Glenn, any final thoughts on 2024?
The only thing I can say is that let's give Brent another a chance to get what he wants, his team in here, and then let's evaluate after next year. Let's see what happens. I think we should all fans. We got to continue to support the football program, and we got to buy season tickets. I bought my season tickets this year. Everybody's got to still buy season tickets. That's the only way we're going to survive. We have to buy season tickets. Get the butts in the seat. You can't complain if you don't have butts in the seat. Can't complain about nothing.
There you go.
Let's get butts in the seats, and then we can start. Then you can have your 2 cents.
Exactly. There you go. Well, Glenn, hey, I always appreciate you. 15 years we've been doing this now, beginning back in 2010. We've seen a lot of football. Some of it's been good. Some of it has not been so good. But we keep trying to look through the tape after every game and find different things for the folks to learn about what's going on with their team. And I appreciate everything that you've done to power this brand of Wildcat Breakdown over the course of the last 15 years.
Well, Dave, I appreciate you and your mentorship, and you got a raw piece of meat when you first got me, and you helped me out and shaped me up a little bit and made me look good. And I appreciate everything that you and you've done for me on television and on radio and everything. And I appreciate you, brother. Love you.
Love you, brother. Love you for sure. We'll talk again soon.
Bear down.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Choose chill. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we did not get to Adia Barnes in full today, but we will let you hear a little bit of what she had to say after the big win over Seattle. And Adia's still kind of, like Tommy Lloyd, still kind of trying to figure out what her rotations are going to be, groupings of players that she can have on the floor together, and how that's all going to fit as the Big 12 conference part of the schedule gets closer.
Yeah, so that's, with a really young group of a combination that I don't really think is great together. Like all the new young players together is not good for turnovers and stuff like that. So I thought they did a really good job because that was deep into our bench. A lot of inexperienced players playing together. Still more turnovers than I'd like, but I mean, they did a good job of holding down a team that was kind of killing us for a while in the second quarter. So I thought great job. I thought it was good for us to give them experience and confidence because we're down a little bit. I knew I wasn't playing Lauren tonight. She was a little banged up. She was available, but I wasn't going to play her unless I had to. I knew that if I could, I wanted to rush Jada a little bit. I wanted to rest, Sky a little bit. They were available, but if you're banged up, I'd rather you sit. Then we were out. We didn't have ISIS. So that was going to have us play certain combinations, but I thought everybody did a really good job.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Well, there you go. We were talking a little bit earlier about some of the disparity in minutes that we saw from that game last night, and that kind of was how that played out. Ladies will be back on the floor Thursday night at McHale Center against Grand Canyon. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Glenn Howe for joining us for cricket, for Dragon Ball. J-Dub off today. I'm David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Wednesday, 3 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With Collision Center reported 6th and Speedway and 6th Avenue, Oracle and Miracle Mile and Oracle. Also, serious collision occurred Broadway and Swan. That collision involving a motorcyclist. Expect restrictions and slowdowns, Swan and Broadway. 48 the overnight low tonight, 74, sunny skies tomorrow, and 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
You know the joke, why is Christmas like your job? You do all the work and the fat guy with the suit gets all the credit. We understand. That's why you might need a new sleigh. And you can do it right now during the Red Tag Sale.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Black Friday is back at Lowe's with up to 50% off select major appliances, plus an extra 10% off on select major appliances like Whirlpool. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Our home is Arizona Stadium, McHale Center, and High Corbett Field. We are the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the only radio station that brings you all the action of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball is Wildcats Radio 1290.
So, you have approval to order more.
Oh, it's just me, guys. Why are you dressed like that? It's my polar bear costume.
I almost called the exterminator.
Just trying to drum up business for winter Alaska vacations, since when are polar bears so short?
Gary, Alaskan AC doesn't have to do silly stunts. People all over town love our Alaska vacations.
Who else promises no breakdowns for a full year? Check this out.
Don't do that here.
Well, when I spin the sign outside, it looks awesome.
I thought wrecking Ron's office was pretty awesome.
Gary, I love your enthusiasm, but I don't think we need you dressed up in a polar bear costume to tell people about our winter Alaska vacations.
Everyone knows Alaskan AC does more than just tune up the heater.
We clean, tighten, calibrate, and polish the heater so it's good as new.
So good, we guarantee no breakdowns for an entire year.
Now take off that silly costume.
Okay.
And give it to William.
What?
You're more polar bear sized.
You've got to be kidding me. I'm not putting this.
Oh, and schedule now at AlaskanAC.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel.